Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're here. It's that time once again. It's a sad time, but it's a joyous time as well. It is the finale of the Super Cup. 2014, as sponsored by UltraNet, this season has just been phenomenal. There has not been a single boring evening, and all of those exciting evenings has led to here, Interlagos, where we still have both championships up for grabs. In the Drivers' Championship, it's Philip Pushka versus Jason Muscat, 35 points separates the two. In the Teams' Championship, we have Adonis Engineering, originally thought to be walking away with the championship. Their lead has been eroded by Simcraft after the last few rounds. 49 points is the lead there. It's all to play for as we head to Brazil. We're in the final few minutes of qualifying here. My name's James Kirk, and alongside me once again is Mr. Sam Jones. We've just been looking at qualifying here. Couple of surprises. Philip Pushka, who hasn't been qualifying for the last few rounds, he's actually qualifying here today. But, you know, he is there up the front. He's there in P2. But he's not the man on pole position. In fact, the man on pole position is another complete surprise. Tom Parker there for Simcraft Racing. We saw him take a win in Abu Dhabi. He's been looking a lot more consistent and a lot more strong in those later rounds of the season. And I tell you what, a pole position would be not a bad way to start off his evening tonight.
Yeah, hello guys, hello. It's good to be back once again for the final round of the season. Luckily I'm not tapping away at buttons this time. I can focus fully on the racing, and it's really going to take a lot of focus tonight, that's for sure, because we're going to be doing the maths, we're going to be hammering away at the calculators, and we're going to be waking up with blisters on our fingers tomorrow. But yeah, Philip Pushka, I can't believe he's actually qualifying. I had him down as going to be starting from the back of the grid, but I guess he doesn't really want to take anything to chance anymore. He's going to go for it tonight, and it's great to see that he's really taking it seriously, and he really, well, looks like he wants to win this championship now, and well, barring anything dramatic, he should win it, but of course anything dramatic can happen, and it surely will happen as well. And yeah, he might not even get pole position here, so he's definitely not going to have a clean run as he does come into the pit, so that's surely his qualifying over.
Done.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I wonder whether Tom Parker is on for his first and indeed last pole position of the season. We have another couple of protagonists here still to bring the fight to him. Peter Burlak, who was driving for Waters Automotive last time out in Japan, took a win on his debut. He's now driving for Adonis Engineering. Menno Klont has secured his services, and it's been absolutely fascinating seeing Adonis Engineering with arguably the strongest lineup coming into this season. Ascari Canton and Jason Muscat, they looked near impenetrable in the Teams Championship, and then all of a sudden, Canton's injury, Muscat going off form, it's all melted away to the point where they are within 2 race wins of their nearest rival, Simcraft. Bringing in Peter Burlak, I think, is one of the best options that Menno had, and we're going to see whether the Croatian, who wrapped up the Drive Champion in FC a while ago and wrapped up the Teams Championship for Walked yesterday in Formula Challenge, comes into the pits. He is done. So who's left? I'm guessing we have Jarl Time potentially. I'm guessing we have Siggy potentially. I think Gaia is done and dusted. And I'm seeing lots of people stopping. I'm thinking that Tom Parker might be a very happy Englishman going into race 1.
Yeah, missed the second half of the season, that's for sure. Tom Park has really turned it up, and I think his qualifying pace has been good, and his race pace hasn't been bad either. He's just lacked maybe a little bit of consistency at times, so let's see if he can retain this pole. Siggy is coming around the last couple of corners. I don't know whether he's setting anything alight in terms of his lap time, and he doesn't improve, does he? So
well, he does improve, but by a couple of hundredths. Jason Muscat doesn't improve, and I'm just wondering, I think Jarl Tynes, yeah, he's coming around the final few corners now. If there is one person to take this away from Tom, it would be Jarl on pole position plenty of times this year since he came on board with Waters Automotive. It is an improvement to a 13.9, but hey, what a way for Parker and indeed Simcraft to start off the evening. Pole position for the Englishman. It's Philip Pushka qualifying for the first time, I believe, in 4 races. He comes in and will start alongside Tom Parker in P2. And behind them, row 2 formed Petter Burlak, the lead of the Adonai, and Jarl Tyen, the Waters Revolutionary.
That is a really, really interesting field that we've got here. We've got 4 different teams in the top 4, so that's going to certainly... No, wait,
5 teams in the top 5.
Yeah, 5 different teams in the top 5. Kevin Siggy, the lone positive sim racing car tonight. It looks like Fran Lopez hasn't shown up, which is probably good for qualifying because it means he can't crash into anyone during qualifying.
I think it
happened at the weekend.
It's definitely worth noting this. I think we do actually have 2 positive cars. I see Sven Schubert made it into qualifying, and he qualified P26. But yeah, worth saying, Fran Lopez, who is Siggy's usual teammate, unfortunately reaching his 10-point ban limit here. A GPVWC, or license limit, I should say. So he's received a 1-event ban, which means that he is barred from competing in any of the Brazilian Grand Prix festivities as they are. So no Fran for tonight, unfortunately. It's a shame. So much pace in that boy, but unfortunately a little bit too much aggression has seen him result in this barring from the Supercup Brazilian Grand Prix. But nevertheless, as you rightly say, 5 in the top 5. I can't remember seeing that this season. There's always been, 1 or 2 teams, clumped together, making sure that they're, putting themselves up there. It's nice to see such an open field, and indeed, an open field should, we hope, lead to an exciting and open race. To go through the ramifications in race 1, we've got 41 laps, so a pretty long race here at Brazil. But here's how it goes down. The main fight that we're interested in is the Drivers' Championship. Philip Pushka is on 439 points. Jason Muscat's on 404. Sven de Vries does separate those 2, but he's not competing. If Philip Pushka scores no points in race 1, which I think I agree with you, Sam, it's pretty hard to see that given that he's starting on the front row, Jason Muscat must finish at least in 5th position in order to keep his championship hopes alive. He qualified in P7. Not a good start for him there. It's a bit more complicated and difficult on the Adonis and Simcraft side of things. I think it's best to go through that once race 1 is done and dusted. But it's going to be exciting to see how this championship finally unfolds. It's been almost farcical seeing plenty of drivers not wanting to win the championship, and yet here Philip Pushka seems to be making a good go of it. We know Jason Muscat will try his best, and I'm hoping for a good competition over the 2 races.
Yeah, maybe it would be even better if they'd swap round on the grid and you had Pushka in 7th, Muscat in 2nd. It could have made it even more exciting, but nonetheless, it's still going to be quite a fight. And of course, the Simcraft boys aren't going to be wanting to, help Pushka out in any way, because they've got their own agenda, going for the Teams Championship against Adonis, who are also up there as well. So, I think a lot of people up front have got something to say and something to really go for. So everyone's really going to be pushing the hardest, and we could see mistakes, and we could see some incredible battles that we have seen throughout the whole season. Every race, you can just think about every race. You can think about a great battle that we had, where the races has gone so quickly, just because you've had about a group of 4 or 5 people in a line all battling away, and it's been really exciting to watch. So I'm really looking forward to this final round of the season tonight, and see what the top 6 or so can do.
Of course, the top lot are not the only ones to be talking about. Down in P4 and 5 in the Team Championship, we have the battle between Positive Sim Racing and Satellite Racing. Satellite, who are looking so good with Sven de Vries, and then of course their star driver leaves them. They've had Askari Kantonen come back to them, or come in with them, I should say, for this last part of the season, recovering from his injury that he sustained earlier, previous to Monaco. He's been getting better and better every race, and given that there are realistically only 2 competitive drivers from both outfits, Siggy from Positive, Kantonen from Satellite, I think it's going to be really fascinating as only 10 points separate those 2 teams. We then of course have the close battle between Multiforce and Storm. In the Teams Championship, we have Street Fighter and the resurgent Waters as well. Can Waters climb any further up the table? It's going to be fascinating to see where everyone comes out, and indeed the battle at the bottom. Centurion on 64, Scuderia Basilia on 39, Fox Racing on 34. Tomorrow the applications for the 2015 Supercup season close. And realistically, if you're in those bottom few positions, you're not going to be looking so strong in your application, because it's all about bringing new teams up, bringing some new blood in. And if blood's gone a bit stale, then I don't really fancy it in my pudding, Sam.
I'm not much of a blood person, whether it's stale or not, to be honest with you. I think I might keep well clear of that. I don't even really like strawberry sauce either, so I like my vanilla ice cream pure and vanilla. I can't beat anything like that. Maybe with a few hundreds and thousands on top as well, and that really tends to spice things up. Just like I think Peter Burlack's going to spice things up today as well, because yes, he had his first run out in Japan, which he did incredibly well in, although he did struggle in the second race a little bit. And he's back here again today, not on pole, but he's right up there at the sharp end of the field, and he's definitely going to be one to watch for next season as well. So I really do hope he has another good round today.
So first of all, I should say last of all, two things to cover. We've got two new goers, Christoph Schoer for Multiforce GP, Sven Schubert for Positive. They're looking pretty strong, the two of them. Sven was pretty competitive in Supercup last year. Christoph, we hear good things about him over at FSR. It will be lovely to see how he makes himself known on his debut. I remember a certain Florian Gaia making his entrance in the late stages of Supercup, and you look at him now, fourth in the championship, pretty good going for him. But I'm also interested to know who you're predicting to win this race, Sam, because you were saying, it would have been interesting to see Philip Pushka at the back of the field fighting his way through again. Him qualifying second, does that change things a lot for you?
I think it gives him a chance. I wouldn't have said that he'd win the race if he started from the back, that's for sure. And I think now he has a good chance. And Parker, I'm still not 100% sure if he's going to be able to hold on to that lead or not. He's definitely got the pace, but it's whether he can keep the consistency in a race where he's surely going to be pressured from behind. Although we have seen him storm away before, and if that's the case, if he can get a gap, then Parker can win. But if he comes under pressure from the likes of Pushka, Burlack, Tyen, then I think he will begin to struggle with that pressure. So I'm actually going to go for Burlack today. I reckon he's got nothing to lose. I know he's racing for the team, but the guy's just out there to really get as many points as he possibly can, and I think he might be the one to take the win today.
I think it's definitely a good shout out there.
Also, I didn't want to go for Pushka because I've picked him too many times.
Too many times, I see. It's a fair choice, I think he is one of the strongest of the field. But you know what? I'm gonna give a little bit of support to Parker here. He got pole position, and I think we might be able to see a surprise from the young Englishman yet. The situation as it stands, if Philip Pushka scores 10 more points than Jason Muscat in race 1, he has won the Drivers' Championship. Plenty to be decided until then. It's Tom Parker who leads us off on pole position here at Interlagos. He's followed by championship leader Philip Pushka. You know the story with him. Peter Burlack starts P3 for Adonis Engineering in their bid to try and secure the team's championship, with Jarl Tyen lining up behind him, P4 for Waters Automotive. Kevin Siggy starts P5 for Positive Sim Racing, with Florian Gaia P6 for Simcraft. Jason Muscat P3 in the championship, I should say, but the only available competition to Pushka starts P7, with Ascari Canton and his old teammate starting P8. Menno Klont starts P9 for Multiforce, his highest qualifying in a little while, and David Franchich rounds out the top 10 back in the Waters Automotive car. Scott Beresford, who retires from sim racing after a relatively short career. Sad to see him go, but let's wish him well in P11 for TSA, with Maurice Bracan, P12 for PB. A disappointing round last time out for Bracan. He'll be hoping to at least score some points in race 1. With Emmanuel Gagzella, a bit of a disappointing P13 for Emmanuel, especially given his recent pace. I'm sure he'll do his best to score a top 10 at least anyway. Santiago Niza starts P14 for Street Fighter, with Adrian McNaughton P15 for Storm. Ari Niemann starts P16 for Mazurek, with Dario Tapper. A similarly disappointing qualifying for him in the same regard to Gagzella, P17 for Street Fighter. Our newcomer, Christoph Schoger, starts P18 for Multiforce GP, with Pavel Loknoski behind him, P19 for FA. And Matt Richards drops back down from Super League into the TSA car. He starts P20. Roy Verzel starts P21 for Fox Racing, with Mike Bell coming back, P22 for Mazurek Racing. Yuri Ogiano starts P13 for Scuderia Brazilian. Yanni Vanden starting P24. Completely avoiding everyone there. Massive backing up of the field here by Tom. Sven Schubert on his debut this year starts P25 for Positive, with Ben Horrell P26 for Centurion. Christoph Lichtenstein starts P27 for Fox Racing, and the grid is rounded out by Nico de Koning P28 for Satellite Racing, and Marcel van der Linden P29 for Scuderia Basilia, meaning that we're missing the one Centurion car of Miko Sukas. So everyone lines up on the grid now. A difficult start here, Sam, considering that we're going uphill.
Yep, you have to really hold it. You have to hold the car, and you'll see people that will probably bog down. I had to jump out of the way of a couple of guys yesterday, so it's not an easy start, and it will be interesting to see who can get off the line the best.
We have 3 lights, we have 4, we have 5 lights, and here for the penultimate time in Supercup 2014, we are go, 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 and oh! A bit of a clash between Pushka and tying off the line there. I think Pushka had an awful start, looking to be absolutely swamped, and someone's gone off there in the distance. Tom Parker, a perfect start, Kevin Siggy as well. What a start from the Austrian, up into P2. Similarly, Jason Muscat up from P7 to P3. His main championship rival, Philip Pushka, down in P6, so not a terrible start from Pushka, but certainly not going to help. Jason Muscat jumping his rival, Petter Berlik into 4th, Canton in 5th, Pushka 6th, trying to fend off Florian Geyer and Menno Kont. Jarl Tide all the way down to P9, an awful start for the Norwegian there from the second row of the grid, and Scott Beresford now in P10 as Jarl Tide dives through on Menno Kont up into P8, still plenty of scrapping throughout the midfield. I see Philip Pushka and Florian Geyer going side by side there, and Jarl Tyne trying to get up there, and a bit of a contact between Beresford and Klont there as Beresford tries to go through on P9. And no, Menno Klont just out on, and Gagzella's round! Gagzella's round, there was a tap from Bracan, and what a poor start for Gagzella. Such a shame, right down to the back of the field you go, sir, and it was his teammate McNaughton who was caught in strife on the pit straight at the start there. But coming around the sweeping last couple of corners here at Interlagos, it is Tom Parker who leads from Siggy, Muscat, Burlak, Kantonen, Pushka, Tyen, Klont, Beresford, and David Francic rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, that was a poor start there by Philip Pushka. He just completely bogged down on the start, like I said. I thought some people would do, and he did, and Tyne unfortunately got into the back of him, and it compromised both of their starts. As now it looks like Pushka's going to try and come back up the inside of Canton. Canton's going to hold it around the outside here in turn 4, and he does at the moment. Pushka's still there. They're side by side. They're still side by side, bashing wheels as we come down into turn 5, this probably is now, and Pushka's on the outside, so he has to just let Canton go on through, but he's got the switch back, and now he's back up the inside. This is how these corners work out. You can go side by side and get the switch back, and Pushka's made it stick, so he's back up, recovered to 5th so far, and he's got the 2 Adonis ahead of him now. Persistence
is a real angel when it works in your favour, and Pushka dispatching of Cantonen with real style and finesse there. And remember, if Pushka is outscoring, or if Pushka is simply within 10 points of Muscat by the end of this race, then he has won the championship. He has to be ahead by 25 points in total. Muscat currently only 5 points ahead as things stand. The gap would be 30 points. Pushka would be champion. Tom Parker at the front, not exactly running away, is he? You got Kevin Siggy there, still within a second. Muscat still within 1.5 seconds, and Petter Burlak still within 2 seconds. These front 4 really starting to stream away as, is that Muscat going for Siggy? It was indeed a little stab from Muscat. He's keen to get a move on, isn't he? But this is looking wonderful for Adonis Engineering, isn't it? Their cars 3 and 4. Gibbon, Simcraft is leading, but their other car all the way down in P11, Guy, are also suffering a terrible start.
Yeah, definitely. Guy is really in big trouble here. He just seems to be slipping further and further back. He's got Francic and Klont in front of him. And considering Francic started in 10th and still is in 10th, Francic, you can really see how he's just completely Guy has completely fallen back through the field. And it's imperative that he gets back to the front, because Parker himself is becoming under more and more pressure from Siggy, Muscat and Burlak. And on the last lap, Burlak was faster than Pushka, so it's not like Pushka's catching. We'll see what they do when they come across the line this time. Burlak does a 114.6. Pushka does a 114.4. So Pushka is now starting to catch. So this 4-car train is surely going to become a 5 and potentially even a 6-car train in the not too distant future.
Parker train knows no limits, and we remember when he did so well to hang on to lead in Abu Dhabi. Issue is, he isn't on the alternative strategy this time around. He's on the same strategy as everyone else. So this pace is very much relative, and I agree with you, Siggy looking faster, Burlak looking faster than a lot of them, perhaps holding back a little bit. Muscat in there as well, desperate to try and keep his championship hopes alive into the second race of this evening. We're heading into the Brazilian, well, what the Brazilians call the hairpin. What a lovely name for it. It sounds a little bit more stylish in Brazilian, though, I can guarantee you that. Now heading through into turn 10, Bico de Pato, and through Mugello now. The 4 go, and I think you're pretty much right on that one. Philip Pushka looking to be catching up to the back of these guys now. He's pretty much dropped Canton, but don't count the Finn out. He is still there or thereabouts, and heading through the final, sweeping through corners we go now. Parker seems to have actually pulled out a little bit of a gap on Siggy, and if anything, Siggy under massive pressure from Muscat, going ultra defensive into turn 1 through the centre as we go. Siggy though pushing Muscat out to the edge. And it's pretty hard to overtake through there unless you're on the inside. Siggy holds station for now. Muscat though, he's looking, isn't he? Down this second long straight we go now, and Siggy ultra defensive once again. Muscat's going to have to try and get something around the outside. He is ahead on the straight, and he does do it around the outside through turn 4. Wonderful move from Muscat. Siggy down to third, but hey, look who's there in the background. Philip Pushka is joining in now.
Yeah, he's really caught up, because everyone's been held up by Siggy and Muscat going side by side, and now Burlak's going to try and go side by side with Siggy, but he couldn't quite get his nose in there. Siggy shut the door, it was completely fair, and Burlak's had to stay behind Siggy for a little bit longer, and once again Siggy thinks about pressurising Muscat. Muscat's got to be careful here, he can't get spun out in this race, he's really got to get the results, and Parker, he's definitely hoping that he can pull away from these guys, but it's not going to be easy. And just go back through the field as well. Guy is up into 10th place, just to keep you informed on him.
Here we go once again onto the back finish straight, and oh my word, we're going to go 3 wide here. Muscat going ultra defensive. Here comes Siggy on the middle. Burlak around the outside as well. Let's go 3 wide. Oh wow! Well, I am absolutely shocked that none of those guys spun or had any damage from that, because that is extraordinary. And look at Burlak, look at his aggressive weaving there. I'm convinced he must have just lost some form of heat in the tyres, because he almost went backwards into...
Oh my god, who is it?
Canton.
It's Canton, he's been hit from behind. It looks like it was by, I can't tell who it was, Beresford.
Oh yeah, I see that.
He clipped him from behind going into Desida do Lago. And he's completely been spun out, and that's a disaster. He's down into 15th place, Bereford into 17th. So that's a big loss of positions for both of them there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it over and over again. I think what happened was Scott clipped the rear of Jarl Tyen, who was in there as well. Tyen, thankfully, only got away with minor damage, if anything. But yeah, that just unsettled Scott straight into the back of Canton, and a real shame for those two. Back to the battle for P2, though. It's really heating up now. Almost going 3 wide again. 4 wide into turn 1. Pushka trying to get the lot of them. Oh, Muscat goes deep, and Burlak takes all of them this time. And they're still going almost side by side, all 4 of them, through turn 3 now. Burlak benefiting, Siggy benefiting. Muscat loses 2 positions in 3 corners. Is he going to try and fight back? Here comes Siggy. He's going to try and retake P2. No, he isn't. Through turn 5 now. Burlak P2, Siggy P3, Muscat P4. I think Pushka deciding, okay, this is getting a bit too hot for me now. Let's settle down for a bit and let's see where this goes.
That was incredible, going into the centre.
Pushka's going for it! Pushka's going for it for the championship. This is incredible. The 2 championship contenders side by side. Pushka once again well defended by Muscat. And Pushka's looking for it, isn't it? He smells his prey. Muscat has been a little bit alarmed by Burlak and Siggy double teaming him, and he's got to be all eyes and ears about him, because Pushka is right there. The championship is in the balance.
Yeah, I really can't believe it because Muscat was actually ahead going into the centre S's. Burlack came up the inside and actually tapped Muscat on the rear, pushed him out wide. Burlack gains the positions from it. Muscat falls back. Absolutely incredible stuff, and it's not over yet because Muscat once again is looking at Siggy, but he can't quite make the move this time around. We're going to have to go single file at least for a little while now. Everyone's just going to calm down a little bit, and I think this is where Burlack can really start to stretch his legs and pull away. But having said that, the slipstream really seems to be pulling people back in as Pushka's going to look up the inside of Muscat now. And he's gone up the inside into turn 4 and they're still side by side. Oh, there's contact between the two. And somehow Muscat's held onto the position around the outside. But Pushka's not finished yet. He's going to go up the inside again. Nope. Muscat once again just ahead, just enough.
It is a brave man to try and overtake around the inside of Ferradura there. Yeah, but Pushka, all this fighting that he's trying to do, he's really making his move now, isn't he? He doesn't really care so much about tyre life as long as he is ahead of Muscat. And I'm just keeping a little eye on Jarl Ty and Florian Geyer and Menno Klump behind, because these three seem to be catching the guys ahead of them hand over fist. So we were talking about this 4-car train. It may very well become a 7-car train, and all this is doing is benefiting Tom Parker. He's off in the lead, and he's just going to cross the line now. The gap was 2.3 seconds. It's, to be fair to Burlack, now 2.2 seconds. The Croatian able to get relative cleanness in that lap. But yeah, Tom Parker really benefiting from all this battling. It just increases his chances of a podium at the end of the race.
Yes, now Muscat is right on the gearbox of Pushka, but Pushka's actually got good straight line speed and has actually pulled out a gap going into turn 4. So that's good.
Oh, so he is ahead, isn't he?
Yeah. I guess there must have been a change of positions. Didn't see that.
Down the inside of turn 1, I see.
Oh, okay. So a textbook move there for Pushka then, and he's up into 4th place and now going after Kevin Siggy. And look at that. I would have thought Burlack would have got away by now, but Siggy is still, you know, within about half a second of Burlack. So Burlack's not finding it easy, and this is really good for Parker, because the more Parker can be out front by himself, the more he can control this race, look after his equipment, and really give himself a much better chance of winning this race. Because you know, you'd think that Burlack could be able to chase him down, but Parker's doing an excellent job so far, and he's actually starting to stretch the gap out a little bit more this lap.
Muscat's not exactly downing tools either, is he? Keeping right with Philip Pushka. And I notice actually that it's over the entire course of the lap that Burlack loses time. He seems a little bit more stronger, or a little bit more strong in that final sector. That's where I see the difference. And I'll tell you where else I see the difference. Philip Pushka through sector 1, incredible. He is ahead of Kevin Siggy around the outside of turn 4. What a lovely move from the German that was.
That was just perfect, really. He couldn't have asked for a better move, and he's got that car set up so well because he's clearly got less wing than the guys around him, because he's got this better straight line speed, and yet the car is so planted around the corners because he can get the drive out of the centre S's to get down the straight as well. So Pushka's got a good car there, and he's really able to drive it well. As Tyan, something's happened to Tyan. I think he's had a spin because he's dropped back down to 10th place now and coming under pressure from Dewey Tapper. He was ahead of, he was ahead of everyone. Guy, he was ahead of.
No, I see what's happened here. He mounted the curb, you know, on the inside of turn 8, just after turns 6 and 7. It's a nasty little curb, that one, and it sort of rises out the ground, so you can't cut it that much. Tyan cut it, and he was at a risk of spinning, so he slowed the car right down. What that has meant, though, is that he has been swamped by Gaia, Klomp, Francic, and Bracan, and he's returned in P10, but under serious pressure from Tapper now. As Pushka is now past Burlack, and again, it's Sector 1. It's Sector 1, and Pushka is into P2.
Wow, I can't believe the pace that Pushka's got. He's done a 113.9 compared to the leader of a 114.7 by Tom Parker. That's 0.8 of a second whilst passing another car. So Pushka's got incredible pace here.
113.7. Just to give you an idea as well, actually, 113.7 was faster than our pole position time by Tom Parker. That's how much conditions have improved here since qualifying.
I've got 113.9, my timing must be wrong.
Oh, 0.9? Oh, there we go. It's still only 1/10 off qualifying on race fuel.
Yeah, because he's going to have all the fuel in his car right now and old tyres as well. Wow, you just think, what could Pushka have done if he'd done a lap like that in qualifying, as Siggy going defensive once again, who's now got Muscat on his outside going into turn 1. And
Oh,
Muscat
wow!
yeah, last of the late breakers, makes the move stick, goes a bit deep, but he gets the right line for the second part of the NRS. And out of the third corner, he's well ahead. Although Siggy's going to look back at him again.
Yeah, look at Muscat going ultra defensive here. Siggy going to the outside. And he's going to try and do the reverse of what Muscat did on him a couple of laps ago. And a little bit twitchy there on the exit of turn 4. He's going to try and ride up to Muscat's... What am I talking about? Muscat's rear through turn 6 and 7. Indeed, he is going to have a little look through turn 7. You don't want to be mounting the curb either there. That's more dangerous than the one here at turn 8. But Muscat just ahead for now in P4, and looking ahead, Pushka not exactly escaping Burlak again, especially considering that early pace in the whole season, or in the whole context of things. So the gap between Parker and Pushka has decreased to 1.3 seconds now, so the gap to leader is decreasing here on lap 12 of 41.
Yeah, Parker's struggling to, have a consistent lap time. He's gone from 14.6 to a 15.0 on the last lap. So I think he had a bit of a mistake in the last lap, because he's recovered now to a 40.4. He's turned it right back up, and Siggy's turned it back up as well, because he's going to the outside of Muscat into turn 1 this time. He's going to try and do what Muscat did to him, and he's done it. He has actually done it. Muscat's going to be right in his gearbox, but that's a great move by Siggy, and Muscat's now going to look up the inside. So we're going to go on another long straight here into turn 4. What can Muscat do up the inside? And got on the curb, didn't he? A bit too much on the curb, and that's lost his momentum, and he's had to drop it back in behind Siggy once again.
Cracking battle between these two, and Siggy flying the flag for Positive Sim Racing very well here tonight. And remember that point which I brought up, Positive v Satellite, Cantonen's misfortune there. He's now down in P12, so Positive very much winning the battle for 4th place in the team's championship as things stand. And Dowie Tapper's out. Dowie Tapper's out, I've just noticed. The Dutchman does not have any luck this season, does he? And let's have a little look. He was battling with Canton, and he just got caught on the outside anti-cuts out of turn 7, and he lost pretty much the entire back of his car. So a real shame for Tapper there, out of this race, along with Matt Richards for TSA and Nico Zukonik for Satellite. No shame there for Tapper, but really, it's the battle up here at the front, or the battles, I should say, up here at the front, which have been intriguing us. The gap between Pushka and Parker, now 1.2 seconds. Parker really responding well, but there, behind them, Siggy and Muscat is kicking off once again. Muscat all the way over to the inside. Siggy tries to usher him out to the outside, and Muscat around the outside of turn 4 again! Oh, what a wonderful move from Muscat. These two showing each other how it's done every single lap they go by. And up turn 6, through turn 7, and Muscat has it unless Siggy wants to try into turn 8. Nope, Muscat has it for now.
It's like watching, it's like watching copycats here, because Siggy just did what Muscat did on the last lap down at Decido do Lago. He just mounted the curb on the inside and lost momentum just as Muscat did, and that cost him the 4th position right there. So this time we're going to see Muscat make the mistake.
You can call it turn 4, Sam. It's okay.
I tried. I know people hate the corners being called by their numbers rather than their actual name. But yeah, it's easy to say 4.
You got to give us commentators some slack. See, sometimes we get it wrong. It's Siggy up the inside of turn 1 once again, and the battle continues. The Positive car back up into P4. That said, Jason Muscat rides on the back once again, and I reckon we might see a repeat move. Or here we go, going on the inside of Siggy this time is Jason Muscat into turn 4, or indeed Decidor do Lago if you fancy your fancy Brazilian phrasing. And Muscat's got it, or does he? Siggy side by side going up into the entrance of turn 6 here. Muscat on the inside, Siggy on the outside. He's now going to try and cut back through into turn 8, but Muscat has it. Good defense from the Maltese driver. All this is doing is moving them further away for the battle for the podium, though.
I'm not sure whether you'd be frustrated or really enjoying a battle like this, because it's a great battle, but I'm sure Muscat would want to be getting on with it and trying to catch up with his teammate and Pushka, who are Well, clear ahead now, nearly 4 seconds ahead as Siggy's once again looking. He's literally pushing Muscat around the corner. He's actually just made a little bit of a mistake there, tapping Muscat right at the back.
Parker, he's lost. Oh, what happened to Parker? He's lost it from the lead. What on earth happened to him there?
Oh,
I see what happened. He made a mistake at Juncal as well, but this time he got it caught. It's the curbing again. They catch people out so often because they're not in line with the grass, and so Tom Parker got on the outside of the curbing there, and unfortunately he got spat out onto the grass. And while we were looking there at the replay, Burlak has gone past Pushka, so Burlak now leads this race from Philip Pushka. But Philip Pushka, he has a chance to win. It's both of our tips for the win, Sam.
They're battling it out. It's me versus you. It must be a forfeit for whoever loses, surely. Can't think of a forfeit at the moment. But yeah, I feel sorry for Parker there, because that curb on the outside, as soon as you put two wheels on the grass, you're going in a straight line. You can't bring it back off the grass and onto the track again, and you just have to let the car run straight on, get onto the runoff on the outside of the corner there, and then get back going again. And it costs you so much time. You don't realise how much time you lose, but it really does cost you, because you should be accelerating at full throttle there, but you just have to let off and just let it go, as Pushka's going to let Burlak know that he's right there on the inside, and he's already made the move. That is incredible straight line speed, absolutely incredible. He's like he's got DRS.
There are no wings on that car whatsoever, and well, maybe Burlak can respond here on the straight, which does have a name, surprisingly, the Reta Posta, the Brazilians like to call it. Burlak looking to dive through it, Desida de Largo, and he has done it, so the wings working for Burlak there at the end of the first sector, but Pushka looking to be right back out, right beside him into turn 6, and oh, there's contact between the two, and Pushka is pushed out wide because of that contact. Burlak retakes the lead. It's getting a little bit dicey between these two now, a little bit of temperatures flaring. Perhaps there's a chance for Parker yet.
Yeah, these guys have raced against each other before in the past in another series as well, so they know each other well. And yeah, well, I'm really surprised here that there'd be any contact between two such veteran drivers as they are. But yeah, Burlak's got the lead back, but what can Pushka do? Because he's going to have those wings, well, or no wings.
The lack of wings, yeah.
The lack of wings, yeah. He doesn't need his Red Bull, and it's really going to help him down the straight, so there are currently half a second between the two, but it's now down to 3/10. Coming up to the corner, yeah, you can definitely see that Pushka's visibly closer, and Burlak's made a mistake into the first part of the Centre S. He's run a bit wide, and it's compromised his line for the next two parts of the Centre S as well. So Pushka's right on his tail, and Burlak's going to defend, but there's really no point, because look, Pushka goes up the inside, and oh no, look at that braking by Burlak. That's incredible. He's gone around the outside of turn 4, and he's nearly made it stick. Oh, there's more contact between the two. And Burlak had to pull out of that one there because he was going to go onto the grass. So, oh yeah, a bit of contact, definitely a bit of firiness there. It's getting a bit chilly.
This is a bit chilly.
A bit of a chilly.
Wrong way. They might have had their chilies for breakfast,
yeah,
so that's for sure. They're all fired up. Tom Parker, and as I say, this battling is fascinating, because all it means is, Pushka's on wide here. As we're, oh goodness me, so close between the two. Heading into Juncal now, turn 12 as this otherwise known. Burlak this time will have the slipstream, and all this is doing is allowing Tom Parker to stay within sniping range. He's currently 2 seconds off of these guys, but any contact between these two, and those 2 seconds will evaporate quicker than water off. Oh, as well. I was gonna complete my metaphor there, but Burlak and Parker are both in here on lap 18 of 41, as is Jason Muscat as well, as is Jarl Tyen. So, a couple of people deciding to pull the trigger early.
Yeah, Muscat, before he pitted there, he actually looked like he made a mistake on that last lap, because he dropped back from... Oh, look at this, he's having to stack with Burlak.
No, it's alright, it's fine, they've done this before.
Luckily, they're not Jonathan Holmes. They know how to actually, pit side by side, and unlike he did at Abu Dhabi, unfortunately. But yeah, Muscat made a mistake in that previous lap, because he fell back behind Siggy, and actually fell behind Gaia as well. So Muscat's lost time on his in-lap, and that's really going to cost him now. He's come out behind Gaxella. And yeah, who's right behind him? Tyen. So Tyen's caught up after his early race demeanours.
So let's look at what's going on here. So Petter Burlak, the first of our pitters, out into P7. Parker out in P9. Muscat out in P12. Tyen out in P13. I think we saw Francic, Skoa, Beresford and Lochnovsky all pit on that same lap as well, and Sven Schubert indeed. So lots of chopping and changing here. But we look to Pushka now. Is he going to pit? Yes, he is. So Pushka into the pits, and it's all ever so scary watching people career into there. But interestingly enough, Siggy going around again. Florian Gaia and Menno Klont coming in pretty close as well. I'm surprised Gaia's not going around again. So Siggy going for the longer option Sin. I wonder if he's got a plan in place here. Cantonen in as well. Brakan going around again as well. Interesting. And here comes Burlak now. This is the interesting bit we wanted to see. Pushka out of the pits. It's a different line here through the center S and the pit exit. Pushka, I think Pushka's ahead. Yes, he is. Oh, he's well ahead, isn't he? But he has to get up to speed here. Out of the pits he comes. Here comes Burlak. They're side... Oh, no, they're not side by side. I think there's about a 5/10 gap between the two. Pushka out into the lead, though. Out into the supposed lead, we will say. We've still got Siggy and Brakan to pit in front of them. But Pushka third. Burlak in fourth. Nieminen still going around in fifth. Parker sixth. Virgil seventh. Florian Gaia has now jumped both Muscat and everyone else around him. So Gaia, really great strategy from him there. Gakzella P9 hasn't stopped. Muscat 10th, Klont 11th, Tyen 12th. So he's lost positions there, Tyen. And Cantonen down in P15 with Francic in 16th. I'm looking back to Kevin Siggy now, who should be entering the pits. Yes, he is. He's in. Will be interested to see where he comes out. Actually, might be close to the lead of Siggy if he has a good stop. Looking to Brakan now. I'd expected German to be pitting in as well. He's not exactly going off to the side, is he? And into the pits, Brakan comes as well. Pushka and Burlak coming around the pit straight now. Pushka just ahead of Burlak. Burlak having a very good lap there. Siggy still in the pits, unfortunately. Might have picked up some damage. So Pushka back into the lead. Burlak very close behind though.
Yeah, I don't know whether that was a long stop for Siggy. I'm not really sure how long a normal stop is, but it did look like it's stationary for a while, and he's actually going to come out right with Parker. So he's actually jumped Parker, hasn't he? He was behind Parker.
He was behind Parker, yeah.
Incredible.
That's a great stop by Siggy.
And that is really bad for Simcraft as well, because we've got Adonis in second with Peter Burlak. Then we've got Parker and Gaia in fourth and sixth, sorry. And then Muscat in 7th for Adonis. So at the moment, it's probably just Adonis that are edging ahead in terms of the constructors. And they've already got a head start, haven't they, going into this final round. So this is good for Adonis right now.
I tell you what, we've got a bit of a cat amongst the pigeons here as well, because Roy Virzel is actually on the alternate strategy. We forgot to go through who was on the prime tyre from the start. Roy Virzel was one of those people. So he is legitimately there in P5, and he doesn't have to pit yet.
And he's still putting in good consistent lap times, still in the 1:15s. It's dropped off over the last couple of laps, but that might have been because he's been battling. So we'll see when he comes across the line this time around, and he does a 1:15.3. So yeah, he's definitely still got the tyres there, so he can keep on going.
P7-8, sorry, P7-8. Yartine around the outside of Muscat into turn 1. Yartine going ultra deep there, but just able to hold on. He's going to be slow on exit as well, so Jason Muscat will have to check up. I think Tyen might not be able to keep that just yet, but he's definitely there. And look at Klont as well. Muscat really getting swamped now.
Yeah, he's going to go around the outside of Tyen. He could get it here because it's good to go around the outside, but Tyen cleverly closes the door on him on the exit of the corner, and Klont is right there looking just in case something happens, because Muscat is looking very, very racy. He looks like he's not happy with himself and the car, and it really has become a reflection of Muscat's season. It's just gone downhill, really, hasn't it? It started off well, and it's just gone further and further downhill because he's really falling back in this race now. He's so far behind his teammate. He's 10 seconds off the lead as well, and yeah, not looking good for Muscat at the moment. Klont goes wide a bit, so Klont's dropped a bit of pace, and that'll help Muscat out there. Klont was having a good race, but unfortunately he's dropped back a little bit now.
Lap 23 of 41 here. Philip Pushka is your leader with Peter Burlak just behind in P2. Siggy's P3 for positive with Parker P4. Virzel legitimately in P5 but still has to make his stop for the option tyre. Gaia P6, Tyen P7, Muscat P8, Klont P9, Cantonen back up into the top 10 after an early excursion, Francic 11th, Brakan 12th, Niza was P13, but he's just come into the pits now, so Beresford, actually no, I lie, Nieminen will inherit that P13. Christoph Skoer on his debut here for Multiforce takes P14 away from the Spanish driver, and then Scott Beresford after an early off with Canton. He's back into 15, but he's under increasing pressure here from Emmanuel Gagzella, who is also recovering from an early off after being tapped around from Reese Bracan. Gagzella takes that position rather easily, and he's back up into P15. And Burlak! Oh, Burlak's round! Oh, Burlak's round! I did not notice that at all! Oh, yeah, look at this! He was in close battle with Pushka, and it was round turn 8, and I don't know how to call that, Sam. I don't know whether it was a racing incident. I don't know whether Pushka was to blame. I don't know. Oh, and he's gone back into Gaia's path, and Gaia's lost his front wing. Oh, drama, and I think Burlak's got a puncture as well. What drama here at the UltraNet Supercup Brazilian Grand Prix. Pushka now leads by 2.7 seconds from Siggy. Parker in third. Roy Versel up in fourth. He still has to make his stop. Y'all tie in 15. And Gaia further and further down the order he goes. An absolute disaster for Muscat. All of a sudden, the team's championship is thrown wide open again. Simcraft very much in the driving seat now.
Yeah, I mean, the only saving face for Adonis is that Guy was involved and he's falling down the order. He's going to be, he's 16th at the moment, and he's going to drop surely down into, 15th. Where is he? He's gone to 18th now. Whoa, he's all the way down there. And he's got way too much time to make up, even with the pace that he's got. So that has helped, but yeah, look at the points now. Parker's going to be picking up a third as it currently stands. Muscat's currently in 6th, probably going to go to 5th he is going to go to 5th when Roy Virgil pits. And apart from that, the other guys are well out of it, with Guy down in 18th and Burlak all the way down in 25th.
So it is probably a decent time now to check how everything stands. As it stands, after race 1, Filip Pushka will be crowned the 2014 UltraNet Supercup Drivers' Champion. However, as you rightly say, what happened to Parker?
He went wide into turn 1, he just broke too late, and he's had to let Virgil go. It's not the end of the world because Virgil does have to pit, but that's costly time for Parker, and tying is starting to close on him as well, so he can't just cruise around. He's got to
he's gone wide again! Parker needs to keep his lid on here. The gap going into race 1 between Adonis and Simcraft was 49 points. The maximum amount of points you can earn in an event is 45 points. So, given that Adonis didn't score, Simcraft had to score at least 4 points to be in with a chance of taking the title. As Adonis have, of course, taken more wins, I believe, than Simcraft this season. Tom Parker scoring 13. Should be scoring 16 once Virgil pits. Muscat should be scoring 11. So that will mean that the gap between the two teams, given that nothing incredible comes of Gaia or Burlak's exploits further into this race, means that it'll be, there we go, Virgil pits anyway. 5 points between Parker and Muscat means that it'll be 44 points going into the final race. So that would mean that Simcraft would have to get a 1-2, and Adonis Engineering would pretty much have to non-score in order for Simcraft to take the title. Let's have a little look at where Virgil is coming out, though, because he's run a really good race so far on the prime tyre for the majority of it. And look at this, he's going to be battling with Ari Neiman surely for P11. So yeah, a great first stint for Virgil. He's on the faster time now as well, so we'll see how far up the order the Dutchman goes. He rejoins in P10.
Yeah, that's perfect for Virgil. He's easily going to be faster than those around him, and not too far away from Maurice Bracken either, so who's having another quiet race all by himself, so he's got a chance for a 9th there. Maybe a bit too far ahead to get to the likes of Canton and Francic, who have really done well. Well, Francic has done really well to move up the field with a steady race that he's had so far, so it's good effort by Francic, and 8th is really where you need to get to, isn't it, to at least have a possibility of reverse grid for race 2.
That's it. Maths would tell you that anybody within 6th to 10th has an equal chance. But obviously, I do see your point. It's 8th is a good place to have because, well, I would say arguably 6th is the best place to have, because then at least you're guaranteed a decent starting position in race 2. Of course, that's not to say that Virgil will be anywhere near 6th, of course. It's not to say that he won't be anywhere near 6th. But either way, stellar job from the Dutchman.
It'd be great to see a full top 10 reverse grid for the final race, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Just saying.
For the last race of the season. And of course, this is crucial points for Fox as well, because they're currently dead last in the Teams Championship. They're only 5 points behind Scuderia Basilia, though. So as things stand, in the battle between our respective Caterhams and Marussias, Mr. Virgil is taking Fox off at the bottom. And the guys who came in with the numbers 0 and 2 on their car, as it stands, will be finishing dead last this season.
Wow, the way things change over the course of the course of a year. That's pretty incredible. But that would be certainly a coup for Fox in the final race of the season to be able to take that penultimate position, because no one wants to finish last, do they? Everyone hates finishing last. Whether it'll save them for next season or not is a different matter, of course, because that's up to the guys in charge, and they know what they're doing more than I do. I don't know how this works. I don't know whether is it the top 3 just don't get a look in, or is it that they kind of have an assessment to see whether they deserve to have another season.
I think it's ambiguous. I think what's definitely known, at least from what I know anyway, is the team that finishes as the team's champions automatically get promoted to the next field up. So as things stand, Adonis Engineering are getting automatically promoted up to Super League next season.
Huge.
And in the same case with Formula Challenge, we should be seeing walk racing, unless they don't apply, of course. We should be seeing walk racing up here in Super Cup for next season.
Looks like those bogged down dollars are really going to pay off, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, money makes the world go around, and it worked for him very well, securing Burlac and Dweevelar. But this isn't a Formula Challenge broadcast, of course. This is a Super Cup broadcast, and we have some more movement in the midfield as David Francis has just overtaken Menno Clont for P6 and P7. So yeah, more points for the Waters team. It's looking pretty good for them in their battle with Street Fighter. Street Fighter currently scoring no points at all. Another thing I'm keeping my beady little eye on, Florian Gaia, he's already stopped onto the prime compound tyre. So of course when he came in for his second stop to replace his front wing, he's gone onto the option tyre again. And he's only 16th. So he could still yet score points for Simcraft and give them more of a chance to take a surprise win in the team's title after race 2 potentially.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his pace though. His pace doesn't look that good. He's doing...
Well, I mean, he would have suffered damage, wouldn't he?
Yeah, actually, it's improved a bit now. He's got down to a 14.8, so he's finding his feet again, which is important. But yeah, he's definitely got to try and get a few more of these guys, at least get to the top 10 if he can. What we're looking at here? We're looking at 12 seconds, but then again, Roy Virgil, is also on the same option tyres. So it might be a bit difficult for Guy, but he definitely can get the guys in front of him now because he's lapping about a second per lap faster than them. And there's plenty of time left. He's still got another 13 laps. And just behind him, Mike Bell is going on the inside of Sven Schubert. And yeah, good move there by Bell, but Schubert's going to come back up the inside. And oh, it's a nice little battle here. Bell's now got the inside himself as we go.
Nisa in there as well.
Left. Yeah. Oh, bit of contact.
I love seeing the little scraps. These battles, they don't give points, but it's still wonderful to see everyone scrapping their absolute hardest. And behind there, Yuri Ogiano, he's not too far away from this as well, so have a little bit of honour. And Ben Horrell as well could obviously catch up in his helmet, which it's an inspired choice, I feel, for a helmet colour, to go all pink, including the visor. But wait,
I think
to each and everyone their own, and actually... He pits actually out of this battle, so unfortunately we won't see that pink helmet in action as Bell. Oh, contact between the two. Sven Schubert just stays ahead though.
It's a really good battle. I really love these battles that you get further down the field. I had a race yesterday in the first race. As we look now, as Bell's going to go back up the inside of Schubert, Nisa's looking, but there's just no room left on the track for him to go. And oh, Bell's just clipped the curve. Got into the side of Schubert, but held on to it, and he's still all over the gearbox of Schubert, so he's literally pushing him around the corner, isn't he? And he's actually pushed him out wide. Okay, let's get the chrome horn out, do a bit NASCAR style. But
excellent.
Still can't get past him. Schubert's putting a bit absolutely incredible defence here.
Nisa needed a bit more steel in his nutsacks down below, I feel, because... these three-way battles around Interlagos are wonderful. I had a great one with Cantonen, of all people, and Cameron Brewster in the International Touring Cup just last week on the Monday. Wonderful battling with those guys, and I think I pulled off one of the moves of my career, just going... Those two were on the outside going into turn 4. I just stuck myself down the inside and managed to take both of them. It was great fun. And Cantonen got his revenge on me the race after. He took me on the line. Not very nice when it was a P11, P12. I was all bell down the inside again. Oh, wonderful stuff. But Super Cup is not Super Cup without all of them driving their hearts out. And whether you're driving for points, for wins, for podiums, or just for pure pride, it's lovely to see everyone putting in maximum effort. Also putting in maximum effort though, perhaps we should look at the points now once again, is David Francic and Menno Klont just going around turn 11 now, are these two. They're still battling out for P6 and P7, they're both fighting for different reasons. Francic trying to keep the Waters resurgence going, and Menno Klont trying to make sure that Multiforce has a little bit of pride to end the season with. It's not been the campaign that they wanted to shout about necessarily, but it's been a decent one nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely, and just looking at Francic as well, I really like Francic because he's a guy that won't necessarily, qualify well in the race, but he's so consistent and he's just got a good steady head about him that he will pick up the positions throughout the race and just move up the field, which is what I like to see. As behind them, Ascari Cantonen is having to defend for Bracken, who's now caught up with Cantonen, so Bracken's really picking up the pace. Another guy that qualifies not the best, but come the race he can get past quite a few guys, and he always has the race pace, and that's great to see from Bracken. It's something that I really enjoy doing as well, is qualifying poorly because I'm a poor qualifier, and then just driving through the field and picking up maybe a point or two. It always feels so great to do that. Yesterday I qualified down in field 21st, and by the end of lap 1 I was in 11th position somehow. I didn't really enjoy that race because I then went backwards instead of forwards because I was way out of position from where I should have been, because I'm not an 11th place driver in terms of outright pace.
Sam!
So,
let's get the violin music out, shall we? No,
I dropped back to 15th, so it wasn't the funnest of races, but the races where you do pick up the positions are always the best ones.
Bracken looking to pick up a position here into turn 1 we go. Cantonen just about holds on, Bracken up the inside, and hey, look who's catching up now. Roy Verzel striding up to the back of these guys. Goodness me, Bracken takes P8, Cantonen down to P9, and he's got to keep his wits about him because Verzel's looking for a position here as well. I think he's just going to try and stay in behind here. Not much point in diving down there now. But remember, these are all crucial positions for the reverse grid that we have in our sprint race. Verzel looking pretty handy though. He seems to have the hand on both of these guys ahead.
Yeah, Kansas lost all kind of pace.
There he goes! Verzel down the inside. Oh, contact between the two. But yeah, you were saying, Verzel's going to have a bit of trouble catching up to Cantonen. Oh no! Oh, why do I say these things?
No, don't come onto the track. Oh.
That was close. Oh, what a shame for Verzel there. And is he going to be overtaken by Gagzella? I don't think so, no. So Verzel down to 11th. What a shame there. But Ari Nieminen, he'll be scampering off now. He says, thank you very much. I'm not sure really what happened there, though. Let's have a little look. I think Verzel... I don't know. I argue that potentially Cantonen just cuts across him. Verzel did have a little bit of space there on the outside, but it seems that Cantonen just gave him no room.
Yeah, it looks like Cantonen was going to defend the inside because Verzel was already on the outside, and yeah, just ran out of room there, didn't he? Clipped the left side pod. What I didn't like to see was Verzel just reversing onto the track. That's a really dangerous thing to do.
Well, we saw Burlak going out onto the track after his spin, and it cost Geyer a front wing.
Exactly, and it cost Burlak a lot as well because he wouldn't have had that puncher if he'd done that, and he wouldn't be down in 23rd right now. So he's paid the price, and he's going to pay the price for it in race 2 as well because he's not going to get a good starting position, that's for sure. And Gaia, talking of him, just to update you, he's currently in 14th place, so he's made up a couple more positions, and he's 7 seconds off 10th, so it's not out of the question that he could still get 10th. He can make up another second per lap and pass all the guys in front of him. It's a lot to ask for, but it's still possible. But it would be great to see Ari Nieminen get this 10th position here and get reverse grid pole. That's something I'd like to see.
In all honesty, I would have been more excited had it been Virgil on pole. I'm not
It
saying
would
that,
have
of
made for
course.
an exciting race, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying necessarily that, you know, it would have been 10th anyway. It might still be 10th, I don't know. It's a random generator, I can't say for sure. But especially considering the battle at the bottom, if Fox Racing had a chance for a really good result once again, you know, it would have been just a nice way to cap off the season. The same really goes for Zurich Racing, though. I mean, they're not exactly in the most stellar of positions. They're... Where are they now? I think they're 11th. Let's see, 15th, 14th. No, they're 12th now, actually. And a long, long way off FA, so maybe it will be good to see Niemanen up there. You certainly want to watch out for in race 2, as we've seen in the past many times.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just watching Virgil at the moment. He looks like he's overdriving the car a little bit, and that's actually costing him time, and he's falling into the clutches of Gagzella more than anything. He's definitely not pulling away from him, which you'd expect him to do, being on the faster tyres. So Virgil's starting to struggle a bit now, and he might have trouble regaining these 3 seconds to catch back up with Ari Niemanen now. So Niemanen, if he can hold it on the road, is in for a top 10 at the moment.
Exciting times for Zurich Racing for sure. Lap 36 of 41 here. Pretty much 5.5 laps to go of our penultimate race of the season. 5.5. God, went all farmer on you then.
Sounds like one of Mike Bell's impressions.
Yeah, Pushkar leads by 4.3 seconds pretty much. So I think he's very much managing the gap. It's really stayed around 4 seconds for the majority of this stint. So he's got to handle things. Siggy, second, great race from him. So far, had a great battle with Muscan, still made his pit stop work, went the longest of any of the option tyre runners. And it's, you know, he's got longer life on these prime tyres to go to the end as well, of course. Parker, P3, one might argue what might have happened had he not had those couple of mistakes. Yard tie-in, fourth, what might have happened did he not have a terrible start. Jason Muscat, P5, it just hasn't clicked for him, has it? But then you have David Franchich and Menaclon still going at it, hammer and tong. For P6 and P7, they're still so close, and I can see this one going on to the end, to be honest, unless they have a crash with each other.
Yeah, well, look at this. Klont's got the speed down the straight. He's right up on the gearbox of Franchich, and he's going to look to the outside. I can't believe he hasn't been able to do this already, so he must really... Yeah, maybe he's just not quite got the final gear there, because he can get close, but he can't get alongside, and that's costing him, because you've got to get right alongside someone, because these aren't the heaviest of braking zones and the tightest of corners that you go into. So it's not easy to overtake on this track. It's definitely possible, but definitely not easy at all. And it's a great little battle between these two. They're not going to separate at all, are they? They're really close on pace. That's great to see between these two drivers.
While we're keeping an eye on these two as they head through into the little turn 8, followed by the hairpin of turn 9. Just a little update on Gaia. He's up into P13 now. So really doing his bit, despite his misfortunes early in the race with Burlak, to keep the Simcraft dream alive. Unfortunately, he's not really doing much for Muscat's hopes in the Drivers' Championship. But it at least gives us one championship that's going to go right down to the final races. Bleak as the prospects may be for Simcraft. Once again, Klont onto the back end of Franchich. And as you say rightly, it's a surprise he hasn't been able to do this more often. This time trying to go down the inside. Look at that. I think Franchich is just running lower wings. Because Klont has absolutely no answer to him into turn 1.
No, he's got the drive out the corners. He can get that, that's for sure. See him all over the gearbox now as we go out of the centre S's and down the straight. Let's have a look. He's closing, but nowhere near close enough, and you'd be silly to go for a move diving up the inside there. All you can do is run deep and cause a collision, so Hunt's being as patient as he possibly can, but there's only so much that he can take of the rear end of another car. It's not the prettiest sight in the world, that's for sure. And yeah, Klunt, maybe he might have to just change his setup a little bit for the second race if he wants to do a bit more overtaking.
Let's go back to the battle between Roy Verzel and Manuel Gagzella here. Roy Verzel, you were saying he was holding a station. It looks to me like he is actually recatching Ari Niemanen now, but at the same time, Emmanuel Gagzella is absolutely within striking distance, and indeed goes to strike Verzel as we head down into Zhangkao now. If you ask me, this battle for P10 looking in Gagzella's favour for the moment.
Yeah, these guys could all close up though, couldn't they? Because there's 3 seconds now between Niemann and Gaia in 13th, with Virgil and Gexella sandwiched in between. So this could be a great little battle for the final lap of the race if they can all close up. Gexella's, yeah, already going for it, and oh no.
And there goes Gaia. So another position free for Gaia, courtesy kisses and love from Virgil there.
Yeah, I think on that one, I'd have to say that Virgil could have left more room on the inside there, because Gexella was right on the curb and it really upset his car going into the corner. There's nothing he could do about it. He's run a bit wide again, got away with it, so Gexella's looking a bit flustered now because he had the chance against Virgil, and Virgil just closed the door a bit too much, should have given him a bit more room, and that's really cost Gexella now. Could
you argue that it was Gexella's risk to go in the curbs in the first place? We've been talking all throughout the broadcast about how dangerous they are around here.
That is true, but well, if there's a car on your inside and there's only one place to go, I guess you have to go for the curbs, don't you? Well, yes. On your outside, sorry.
On your outside, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I think we'll check back in with these lot when something else kicks off. Perhaps it's then worth going back to the battle between Klont and Francic, and Klont, he's got a little answer here. Down the inside. Oh.
Time was slow. I think he had a mistake going into the center S.
Let's have a little look here. Oh, wow, yeah, no, he got on the inside of the center S. A little tap of the wall there on exit. And he's lost the position here to Jason Muscat. Really aggressively weaving down the straight to get some more ease into his tyres. I don't think he suffered damage, because it was a very, very light tap of the wall there. A mistake nonetheless. It's allowed Adonis a little bit more of a hold on their team's championship here. And by the way, that little battle between Klont and Francic. Francic still ahead, but Klont really starting to put the foot down. He's getting a bit impatient. And why wouldn't he be either? It's lap 41 of 41 here the leaders are going on to. So it's now or never until the checkered flag flies.
Yeah, this is it. And it's the last race of the season. I don't want to condone anything, but you tend to see a bit more risky moves at the last race of the season, because there's no repercussions for the end of the season, is there? Apart from maybe a time penalty. And Klont's going to look now, isn't he? This is surely his opportunity. He's made the move up the inside, and yeah, he's done it. So Francic, can he get the switch back though? He's right on the gearbox of Klont. Surely he's going to have the better straight line speed down this straight up to turn 4, and already they're side by side.
Look at that, Francic, perfect exit. It's a difficult position to be on the outside there. Klont going to try and hold him around the outside though. The Dutchman's made his move, and he's made it stick. Wonderful stuff from Menno Klont here. Just to say, you can get grid penalties carried over to the next season, so, you know, it's best not to be stupid while you can. But there we go, Klont taking P6, and for David Francic, after so long holding that position, it's all gone to waste.
Yeah.
Well, you could say it's gone to waste. It's only 1 point, really. But, hey. Pushka won. There we go. They were so far ahead. Siggy second. Sorry to not cash him across the line. But yeah, Philip Pushka wins his 8th victory of the season, and he takes the 2014 driver's title here in the UltraNet Supercup. A wonderful, wonderful effort from Pushka. Lovely to see him win it in style. Tom Parker third. Jason Muscat fourth. A worthy man to come home second in the championship. Jarl Tyen fifth. And then we start with our reverse grid men. Menno Klont 6th, David Francic 7th, Maurice Bracan 8th, Ascari Canson in 9th, and Harry Niemann just holding on for 10th. He had Virgil and Gaia so close. But Niemann does take 10th, Roy Virgil 11th, a decent drive nonetheless still I feel from Virgil. Gaia 12th, Gagzella 13th, Schkoer on his debut taking 14th, and Scott Berison taking 15th. So, 4 points from Gaia. 16 points from Parker, that's 20 points. 13 points from Muscat, that means that it's 7 points in Simcraft's favour. And essentially what that means is that Adonis Engineering are 42 points ahead going into the final race of the season. Simcraft have to hope that on their lucky stars that they get a 1-2 and that something bad happens to the two Adonai.
That would be quite the incredible result, considering Gaia is going to be starting down in 12th position as well. And yeah, just looking at Francic though, that could be costly, that last lap loss of 1 position to Klont, because if Klont gets reverse grid pole, then Frančić will just be left back down in 7th, and that would be very sad thing to lose potential pole position on the final lap of the race. But yeah, Puška, what can you say about the guy? He's taken over the reins after Sven de Vries left us to move on to the Super League and end his Supercup season early, and Puška's done what every champion has to do, and that's pick up the points week in, week out to ensure that when it comes to the end of the season, he can comfortably take the title. He did it with a win, so that's really the way to wrap it up in style. He really, held on and didn't feel the pressure too much because he really won that racing style. So great effort for Puška and a fantastic championship for him.
And tell you what, Muscat, he did all he could. He finished within the top 5, which is the very least which he needed to do. Ultimately, it just didn't come together for him, and so Puška becomes our 2014 champion. And everyone throwing their congrats on the table, of course, looking again to Yanni Vananen. He's just happy with 20th, so it seems that a lot of people are happy. Berlak doesn't seem like one of them, though. He seems to think that it was very much Puška's fault in their little clash. But that's something to be decided by the stewards. If indeed a protest is reported, not for us to judge here at the moment. What is for us to judge here at the moment, or not rather to judge, but to oversee, is who will be on pole position for race 2. Your contenders are Menno Klont, David Frančić, Skari Kantonen, can't remember the other guy. I remember that Ari Nieminen is 10th. Who came home 9th?
Kantonen was 9th, wasn't he?
Kantonen was 9th, you're right.
So who was in 8th?
Who is in 8th? That is the question. That is the question indeed. Let me just have a look through this list, I'm sure. Oh, it was Klont, wasn't it? Oh, no. So it was Klont 6th, Frančić 7th. What am I going on about?
It was 8th.
Who is 8th? That's the question, everyone. That is the question indeed. I am absolutely lost.
I'm looking through the grid now. I'm trying to look for the name.
The live racers.
Bracken. Maurice Bracken.
There we go. Yeah, thank you very much. This is why I write it down. The one time I write it down, or I don't write it down this season, and I forget. Who cares? Let's find out on who's reverse grid pole position. The last reverse grid pole position race of this season has been a wonderful innovation. It's made Supercup the incredible festival and spectacle that it's been this season. Let's see who's going to be the final pole position man of the year. It's number 8.
Oh.
So, that is Maurice. I hope it's Maurice Bracken anyway.
Yeah.
It's either Bracken or Kantonen anyway.
Kantonen definitely finished behind Bracken because Bracken overtook him going into turn 4.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Into Descida do Lago. Do Lago?
Descida de Lago.
Descida do Lago.
Yes. Brazilian, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you are right. It was Bracken in 8th and Kantonen 9th and Nieminen 10th. So at least Virgil isn't going to feel too hard done by the number 10 didn't get called out.
And at least Frančić doesn't feel too done by losing the position in the last lap as well.
Indeed, he's at an advantage. So the front 3 rows are Bracken Frančić, Klont Tyen, and the Muscat Parker. It's going to be interesting to see how the Simcraft and Adonis battle comes into effect in this last race, because Gaia starting 12th, Parker starting 5th, Muscat starting ahead of him in 4th, and Petter Berlak starting all the way down in P21.
Berlak, he doesn't like coming through traffic. He's too clean sometimes, Berlak, I think. Well, can't be too clean, but too much of a gentleman, I find sometimes. And yeah, he's definitely got time to make up. He really struggled with it in Suzuka, but then again, Suzuka's not the best track for overtaking, especially compared to Interlaga. So we'll see how Berlak can get on, and whether he can actually get himself up into the points. And yeah, we'll see if Bracken can maybe take a win. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be, especially after his little flourish in the mid-season with a good few podiums to his name. Let's discuss Parker's race, actually. Started on pole position. great start, but ultimately was the race pace too much for him from Burlak and Siggy and Pushka indeed?
Yes, he was doing all right until the first pit stop, apart from that one mistake that he made, and I think he probably would have held on to the lead until they came into the pits, and then after that, he just didn't quite have the pace. And well, let's be fair, the top five strung out quite a lot. We didn't really keep tabs on them too much for the second part of the race, and it really quieted down. That's probably the quietest I've ever seen the top five so far this season. So it had to come to an end eventually, but it's still a great battle. Still great battles, throughout the rest of the field to keep us entertained. Yeah, it was a good effort by Parker, but just that one little mistake perhaps cost him the race, or perhaps it might not have, because he might not have been as strong on the primes as he was on the options, because he was definitely strong on the options, that's for sure.
Just to say as well, just forgotten, Virgil got those 5 points, didn't he? So that means that Basilia and Fox are on equal points. And I am just going to have a little look at the GPVWC wiki here to see who has the highest position, because it might very well go down to highest position. Let's have a little look here. So Scuderia Basilia's highest finishing position. Oh yeah, their highest finishing position of the year is 6th, and they got 6th in Britain with, I remember, Matteo Zandona, who had a wonderful event for them. The highest finishing position for Fox, 8th. So Fox, in order to finish 14th, has to score at least one more point than Scuderia Basilia does in this race.
Oh, just looking at this now, yeah, I didn't realise we had the full standings on the wiki. This is really well done. Definitely check it out on the GPVWC website. If you go along the top, there's a bunch of little links next to the forum. Before donate is wiki, and there you can find out pretty much anything you want to know about GPVWC. And yeah, some good stats here, and I think we're going to have to look at this a bit more and try and brush up on some of my stats.
I'm surprised you only just found it, really. It's a wonderful tool.
I've seen it before, but I've just never looked at the league pages. I mainly just looked for individual drivers, and it's got a great little table. It really kind of stands out, so you can see where everyone finished in their respective races.
It's all lovely, it's all good. It's something to look at, but as we enter warm-up now, I'm not necessarily... We'll keep the... we won't go into our suggestions for who's going to be race winner. I'd like to have a bit of a surprise, really. But perhaps we can talk about who you reckon should be appearing in Super League next year. From the guys who appeared in Super Cup this year, we know Sven de Vries has moved up. He potentially has an option to move down, I guess. I mean, we got Pushka being automatically promoted next year. But who else do you think deserves a chance in Super League next year?
I think that's quite hard to say, because if you look at the top 10, apart from, say, Pushka and De Vries, you've got a lot of drivers there that can do well and they can get some good results, but no one that really stands out as being like solidly consistent. You look at the likes of Muscat, who's had 2 race wins, Guy that's had 1, Parker that's had 1, Siggy that's had 2. You know, they've all got about 1 or 2 race wins. Canton's actually got 4 here, if I'm looking at this right.
Yeah, no, Canton was super strong in the early season. Yeah. And then he had his injury, of course.
Of course, yeah, and he hasn't quite recovered after that. He had a good second race in USA, so maybe he can... Maybe if he gets himself sorted out in terms of his injury, you know, it's something I don't really know the full details of it, but maybe if he can fully recover from that, then maybe he deserves a chance in the Super League, or maybe it would be good just to do another season in Super Cup, just to make sure he's back to full fitness again. But yeah, I don't know, maybe if I had to pick someone, I'd like to see Gaia. I like Gaia, I think he's got some good consistency there.
All things must come to an end, though. In the final Super Cup round of the season, leading us off is Maurice Bracan for PB Racing. His teammates just won the Drivers' Championship. I wonder what the German can do here in the final race of this season. Alongside him is David Francic for Waters Automotive, and then Menocon behind him. P3's taken 1 race win this year, has Menno, and he might be a dark horse for this final race. So that said, he's got Jarl Time behind him, the driver who's really revolutionised Waters' season. What can he do from there? Jason Muscat, so close yet laps so far, and well, he fell at the last hurdle unfortunately, but P5, good starting position for the final race. Tom Parker's P6 for Simcraft with Kevin Siggy P7 for Positive. Philip Pushkar, our new champion, is P8 for PB with Oskari Kansen P9 for Satellite, and rounding out the top 10 is Ari Nieminen for Mazurek. Roy Verzel's P11 for Fox with Florian Gaia P12 for Simcraft, and Manuel Gagzella's P13 for Storm with Christoph Schoger P14 for Multiforce. Scott Beresford's P15 for TSA with Pavel Oknowski P16 for FA. Mike Bell's P17 for Mazurek with Sven Schubert P18 for Positive. Yuri Ojiano's P19 for Scuderia Basilia, and running out the top 20 is Yanni Vanden for FA. Peter Burlak starts P21 for Adonis with Santiago Niza P22 for Street Fighter. Adrian McNaughton is P23 for Storm with Ben Horrell P24 for Centurion. Marcel van der Linden is P25 for Scuderia Basilia with Christoph Lichtenstein P26 for Fox. Barry Tapper's P27 for Street Fighter with Matt Richards rounding out the grid. P28 for TSA. We have missed someone, but we've also got some different strategies, Sam. Richards, van der Linden, McNaughton, Bell, Beresford, and David Francic.
Yeah.
Starting on the option tyres. Is that a bit risky?
They held up well until lap 19 when everyone seemed to pit on them, so they'd have to do an extra 5 laps. I'm not sure whether they're going to be able to last those 5 laps, but if they can, Francic is in with a good chance of victory here today, as long as he could get a good start.
Here we go then, for the final time this year, we have 2, 3, 4, 5 lights in here in the UltraNet Supercup. We are go, 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 go. It's a great start from Meadow Claw coming out from behind the front row of the grid. It's been an awful start for time once again and into turn 1. Meadow Claw takes the lead in this race. Tom Parker had a stonking start as well. Brackham down to 3rd. He's been able to hold off Jason Muscat. Just about. Canton, and Siggy's gone well wide. Canton has had a good start as well. He's up in the fifth as well. Here goes Parker for the lead. Parker for the lead into turn 4, and he's got it. And there's Canton going up the inside of practically everyone. And Nieminen squiggling around there in the background. But Parker now leads this race from Clont, from Brackham. Muscat up into 4th, and yeah, he just does defend ahead of Canton. Francic has had an awful start from P2 down to P6. He's now back up into P5. Back past Canton. Florian Guy's had a good start as well. He's up to 7th. Siggy 8th. Schubert into 9th. What a start from Sven Schubert that was. And Philip Pushkar down to P10, so he has a bad start. He's diving through on Schubert though. Can Schubert hold on around the outside though? A bit of contact between the two there. But Schubert loses out to his German compatriot. Pushkar up to P9. Heading into Gunchowers. Guy has gone off. And Muscat spun. Muscat spun. What an awful shame for Muscat's season. It's gone from bad to worse. That is massive. What a shame for Muscat. But hey, going on to lap 2 here, it's Parker leading from Brackham, from Francic, Gaia, Canton and Pushkar, Siggy, Schubert, Schoer up into P9, and Ari Nieminen back up into the top 10. He's diving through on Schoer. No, he isn't. Very, very close stuff here in the midfield, though. Goodness me, everyone's all over the place. My word, that was Gagzella, I think, going into contact with Verzel. It must have been once again. Just that encapsulates Gagzella's season, unfortunately. But I'm looking down these other positions here. Fox Racing, P12 and P13. It's Verzel and Lichtenstein, and right behind him there as well, it's Yuri Ogiano in P14. The battle for the bottom is getting spicy. Battle at the top is getting spicy as well, though. Look at this here. Pushkar going wide, and there goes Siggy up the inside of Cantonen. Up into P6. Can the Cantonen hold on, though? Yes, he can. I am mightily impressed by Sven Schubert, though, the German holding on for dear life here. And look at Schoer and Nieminen. It's here Schoer, brand new to the Supercup field, really showing his own here. I believe he's German. I hope he's German. I apologise if you are German.
I think.
He's Italian? It sounds German. Christoph, I'm sorry. And either way, he's nice. Look at Pavel Oknowski up there in P10 now. Great battling from everyone. And Verzel now scampering away from his teammate P12. Lichtenstein P13, Beresford P14. Peter Burlak up into P15 already. Same as Yuri Ogiano has had an off. He's down to P17. Manic couple of laps.
That was crazy, that's for sure. And that's half our race. Well, not half our race gone already, but quite a lot. So we've still got loads of battles here. Throughout the field, we've got Beresford battling with Lichtenstein. Looking up. It looks like everyone's going into a bit more single file at the moment, and yeah, if you think about it, that 1-2 for Simcraft is still possible right here, because Guy's in 4th already. Francic is ahead of him, might run out of tyres. Is he retired?
Well, let's see. I don't think he's down in P24. Yeah. Just to say as well, Richards and Gagzella have both retired early on, but Muscat down in P24. Burlak is only P15.
He's actually dropped a little bit then, hasn't he? Because he was a bit higher up. I'm sure he was 13th for about a lap ago.
No, he was. He's only just got back up into 15th. Is he going to dive through for 14th here with Christoph Liechtenstein? Liechtenstein, a Super Cup champion of old, remember, battling with the Formula Challenge champion of new, doing so well as the German, and this is crucial, isn't it? We were saying Burlak, he doesn't like battling through the field. He's had an awful race 1. He's done pretty well to get out to P15 here in race 2. But he's had to look how much time he's lost to the guys ahead. Thanks
guys
to
going on the inside of Frančić. Sorry, guys going on the inside of Frančić into turn 1, and he nearly made it stick as I lose my voice here because it's that exciting. And now he's got the inside going to turn 4. They're going to go down the straight, and Pushka with no wings is on the grass because Guy's pushed him out there, and Guy's going to get this position. So Guy up into P3, one more position, and this 1-2 is definitely on. But Pushka might be the thorn in their side.
Well, I think Frančić is there as well. He's on the option tyre, remember. Can he go clean around the outside of turn 6? Can he go around turn 7? No, he can't. Guy's holding on for dear life. Into turn 8 we go. And Gaia just ahead. Remember, 42 points is the gap between Simcraft and Adonis. If Parker and Gaia get a 1-2 here, that's 45 points scored. That means that Burlak has to, he absolutely has to get to P13. He's currently P14, so it's not that out of the question. But Simcraft doing everything they can to try and take the team's championship right from underneath the feet of Adonis Engineering, who have led since the very start of the campaign.
There's still a ways to go yet, and Pushka and Frančić, Siggy and Kantonen are all still there, and Frančić has gone back up the inside of Gaia. So a brave move.
That's Gaia getting, he was hot-headed. Frančić, late braking, yes, but it was legitimate, and that is Simcraft. Oh my god, Gaia!
Oh, he's been hit.
He did the same thing in Abu Dhabi. He moved slightly, and it's just caught everyone off guard. That is Simcraft's championship done and dusted.
He's down in 24th, no return from there, and got clipped as well. Hopefully no damage for whoever clipped him. I'm not quite sure who it was. Might have been Ben Harrell. Can't confirm that though. But Gaia, yeah, that's it. He's got major damage, it looks like, and that's his race over. And that's Simcraft's championship challenge over as well, all in that one move.
Just saying as well, Tyan didn't take to the grid. I think he got kicked from the game.
Oh no! Oh, that's our 28th runner that we were missing.
Yeah,
isn't
no,
it?
yeah, exactly. Right. So, I mean, Burlak, he doesn't really need to do much now. He's there in P12, but as it stands, unless a nuclear bomb goes off, Adonis Engineering, pretty confident I could say, are the team's championship and winners. And there's Pushka, once again showing his stuff. He's through into P3, those low wings working for him really well on the back curve straight there into P3. So now it's PB Racing's day to shine. They currently sit 2 and 3 with Tom Parker currently in the pack in first, 1.7 seconds ahead of Brakan.
That is incredible speed by Pushka. And Siggy and Frančić are still there though, and Frančić with these grippy tyres is going to be looking back on Pushka, going around the outside. Ooh, Pushka just moves over. He just had enough room to be able to do that there. So Frančić is going to hold on to this 4th at the moment because Siggy's now pushing him round the corner. Siggy's got his chrome horn out now.
He's going to have out, by the way.
Who's out, sorry?
Gaia.
Oh, so that's...
So
yeah, that's
we can confirm
over.
now. We can confirm now Adonis Engineering are the team's championship. You can expect to see them in the 2015 Super League season.
That's good. I like that idea. That idea's great. You get to see a new, fresh team and one that's going to be on a high from 2014. So we'll see what they're able to do. As Burlak for Adonis is currently in this long train of cars, going from Kantonen in 7th all the way back to Niemanum in 13th, and they're all nose to tail. And Schroer is actually going to look up the inside of Kantonen. Nope, thinks better of it. A great little race by him and Schubert right now so far. Good effort by the guys.
The two new guys. Well, I say new guys. Schubert did take part last year, but Schroer definitely. I mean, what a great little effort from these two. Schroer P7, Schubert P8. Really doing good stuff. Shout out to Kantonen as well. They're able to hold off everyone. As I see, Scott Beresford's gotten past Pavel Oknowski around the outside of turn 4, looking to score more points on his final race here in Simracing. Poor old Burlock, he doesn't know which way to look, does he? He's got no confidence whatsoever.
No, he's just I don't know what it's about him, because he's got such good pace, but it looks like as he tries to go around the outside of Lofnoski right here, it just looks like he's always a bit half-hearted with his attempts as he goes up round the outside of Lofnoski, but runs way too wide. And
I think Lofnoski let him through there.
Yeah, he actually has, isn't he? So Burke's now up to 11th somehow, but I don't know, some of his overtakes look a little bit half-hearted, like didn't quite want to go in for the dive bomb or anything. Obviously we don't want to see a dive bomb, but perhaps be a little bit later on the brakes and a little bit more aggressive, but it seems to at least keep him in the race most of the time.
Ball at the bottom, by the way, just keep an eye on it. Roy Verzil is up to 8th as Skoa. Oh, he's gone deep. Oh, it is the curse of the commentator again, isn't it? Skoa shuffled down to P13 after going wide there. So Schubert now up into 7th, which would be his best Super Cup race result ever. He finished a high of 8th last year. Roy Verzil, 8th, but looking back to Marcel van der Linden, he's now P13 because Lochnovski's gone wide. So both the bottom teams are in the points here, still staking their claims to try and say, look, we deserve to be in this championship.
I think Basilia knows exactly what happened with Fox in that race 1, as Virgil and Beresford are still battling it out.
Oh, dearie me!
I think Beresford has become the grumpy old man. He's just saying, I don't care, I'm putting my slippers on my feet and putting them up after this race. So get out of my way because I want a good finish. And he's just pushed Virgil right out of the way there, and now he's all over the back of Schubert.
Remember, Scott Beresford is on the option tyres, but that little move will be frowned upon. I know that the two don't exactly get on, but my word, look at the pace differential here from Scott Beresford.
Oh, what's
Cantonen done? What on earth happened to Cantonen there? He just seemed to career into the wall. Let's have a little look here. I'm on board with him. Oh, I think he might have had a screen freeze or something, because it seemed like he got out of the way as a precaution more than anything. Oh, what a real shame for Canton there to finish the season on low as well, down to P20. So that means that Scott Beresford's up in P6 now. Sven Schubert's P7, Roy Verzil P8, but hey, here comes Petter Burlak now. He's P9, Neiman 11th, Skoa 11th, Tapper 12th, McNaughton 13th, Lochnoski 14th, and Jason Muscat's back up into the points! So where's Van der Linden gone? Oh, he's down to P18 and Christoph Lichtenstein is ahead of him now. But hey, how about that? Jason Muscat back up into the points.
That could be the nail in the coffin for Basilia, because they are out of the points right as it stands right now. And
Fox is scoring 8 of them.
Yeah, they are. Virgil's doing a great job at the moment. I just hope he can keep his cool.
Oh, and it's more nail in the coffin as one of their cars is fully out now as well, Yuri Ogiano.
Yeah, so it's not looking good for Basilia, and they're looking a bit threatened. And surely we won't see a team that did so well in 2013 finish last.
Oh, Brazil! Blood. We'll say I said blood. I was very scared there for Sven Schubert. Roy Verzil, though, down to P9. Petter Burlak taking that P8 away from him. And yeah, Roy's got to settle it down here. Fox is doing a great job here today, especially, well, Roy is doing a very good job here today. Unfortunately, Christoph not scoring. But he's got to keep his eyes and ears about him, because Skoa and Niemanen and indeed Dario Tapper all battling hands and fists and legs and knees and everything behind him. So he's got to try and stay away from that three-way scrap in order to secure those 7 points and indeed 14th in the team's championship for Fox.
You've always got to love the crazy starts where the field gets shaken up right as the flag drops, and it's really turned into a great race here for the minor positions, well, minor points paying positions, as Schubert currently in 7th place is doing it. I can't believe how good a job he's doing, especially after his first race. Pushka's now got past Brakan for 2nd, so the two PB racing cars have switched positions.
It's worth saying Parker is still ahead by 3.7 seconds. That said, though, it's only lap 11 and 24. Pushka's now the lead of the two PB racing cars. I expect we might see a battle near the end as they're still going at it in the battle for P10, 11, 12. Well, mind you, Skoa is actually really driven away from this fight here now. It's Tapper in 11th, Niemanen 12th, McNaughton 13th, Lochnoski 14th, Muscat 15th, but Van der Linden, he's still there in 16th, and he spins from these guys ahead, and there could be more fireworks.
Yep, and into turn 4, Burlak's now moved up into 7th position, round the outside of Schubert, so good little pass there by Burlak. He moves himself up, and we'll see whether he can close down, well, at least Beresford, at least. And potentially Francic, because those two are both on the option tyres, so they might start to fall off at the end of the race, as Virgil now is sniffing an 8th position for himself, as he goes all over the back of Schubert, trying to overtake him.
Unfortunately, Ascari Canton has also called it a day a shame for the guy who was leading the championship so convincingly in those early days. But we still have a mighty good battle on our hands here across the field in our final race of the season here at the UltraNet Supercup. Tom Parker on lap 12 of 24, halfway through this race, leads by 3.5 seconds ahead of Philip Pushka. Bracan third, Siggy fourth, David Francic on the option tyres P5, Scott Beresford on the option tyres P6, Burlak P7, Schubert P8, Wurzel P9, Skoa P10, Tapper P11, McNaughton in 12th, Neiman in P13, Muscat in P14, and Marcel van der Linden back into the points in P15 after Pavel Loknovsky's had an off. So it's not all over for Scuderia Basilia just yet.
Yeah, he's tried to go around the outside of Neiman into the, coming out the second part of the centre S, and just hit his side pod and spun himself around. So that's Loknovsky down into 16th place, out the points, and Virgil's got to finish in the points now. He has to, because otherwise Basilia will definitely keep their penultimate position in the championship.
Just remember that Van der Linden actually is on the option tyres as well, as is Adrian McNaughton, so we've still got to see how that all works out for those runners. Tom Parker heads on to lap 13 of 24. 3 seconds the gap, 5/10. The lead was eaten into there by Philip Pushka. He's on a real charge, and I can't remember the last time he had a double winner. I think it might very well have been China. I will go and have a little looky. Oh no, it wasn't China. Sorry, Sven de Vries. Sven de Vries in Canada, I think, was the last time we ever saw a double win. So that'd be the first time since round 7 out of 17 that we would see a double winner. Given, of course, that Pushka does take the lead, he's still got to get past a certain resilient Tom Parker before that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking through the field, and Schubert and Virgil are now side by side. And Schubert's just putting up such a strong defence. He's just putting his car in the right positions at the right time. Virgil's now got the inside, going round. That is turn 8.
Pinahero, I believe it's called.
Pinarino, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he's gone for it. Sorry, Virgil's through. Virgil is through. Let's try another one. Bico de Pato, that's a bit easier. And through Magellan now into Young Cow, spitting out all the Brazilian phrases, yo. Virgil up into 8th, but that said, he's got the massive curved straight, or the last few turns, however way you want to look at it, to defend off Schubert, who could get right in the slipstream, and watch out for Skoa as well. He's right there in the distance as well.
Yeah, Schubert's not finished, is he? He's not finished at all. He's going around the outside of Virgil. But Virgil's going to break much later. Runs so deep into the centre S. But he's going to have the inside for the second part. There's contact with the 2. And they just hold on. So Virgil down to 9th. Schubert back up into 8th. Great opportunistic driving by Schubert. Fantastic. And Schroer, however you say his name. Yeah. He's really done a great job to recover from that early race mistake. He hasn't lost his head, as Virgil now on the outside. Schubert
had a little wiggle through turn 5, and Virgil up the inside of turn 6 here. And he's got it. Will Schubert look up the inside? Oh, it's getting ever so close now. These two battling of a train. Schubert putting his nose where he really shouldn't. Look at it. Now it's a 5-way train. You got Schubert, Schroer, Tapper, McNaughton, Neiman and Muscat arguably on the end of it as well. Virgil trying his best to keep on to 8th. Arguably be saying, why on earth is he fighting this hard? He only has to finish ahead of a Scuderia Basilia driver to be able to secure that position, but he clearly wants to make a good name for himself, and he seems to have had a better third sector there than Schubert. Hopefully he'll be able to keep into turn 1 this time.
Yeah, he's pulled a little bit of a gap, and that's key. That's really, really key. If you can make that gap, then you've got a good chance of getting away, especially if you've got your wings set up right. I'll get my words out eventually. As Schroer is actually pressurising Schubert even more, but he runs a bit deep into centre S. Tapper's now right on the back of him, and he could have a good run coming out of the centre S down this straight. Can he look up the inside? They're all going single file at the moment. He's surely going to dive out. Yes, he does. So he's going to go up the inside into turn 4 and onto the curb. Just has to fall back. But Schroe's gone a bit wide. So Tapper's there around the outside. McNaughton's looking for a way to get through as well. And Schroer somehow is holding on. But Tapper's going to go around the outside of him. Not going to happen there. Definitely not going to happen. And he's going to look up the inside though. Got the switchback. That's key. But then we're into another left-hander. So Schroer's able to hold the inside that time around and hold on to the position.
I also noticed, remember, McNaughton on the option tyres there, but look at Muscat, he's up to P13 now. Lovely recovery drive from the Maltese driver to at least score points. Niemann in 14th, and Van der Linden no longer in that point scoring position. Pavel Loknovsky has got it back. Van der Linden, all the way back down to P20 he has gone, so he must have had a trouble. Lichtenstein, so it's actually Fox, Scuderia Vassilia with one of those retiring. It's looking very good for the Belgian outfit. As it stands. What's not looking good, however, is the stability of Tom Parker's lead, as it is being crushed down to 1.4 seconds now. I reckon we are definitely going to have a battle here for the lead, as we're on lap 16 of 24 here. Not much time to go.
Yeah, Parker's constantly in the 15s, and somehow Pushka, on these prime compound tyres, is in the mid-14s. That's incredible pace by Pushka. And it's no doubt about it, he's going to catch Parker because he's that much faster, and it will be a case of can he get past, and you'd surely have to say that he will do because he's got no wings, so straight line speed is going to be right on Pushka's side. So Tom Parker's going to have to do a really fine job here. He's not out of this race by any means in terms of the win, because he can of course defend and possibly re-attack if Pushka does get past him. So this could be an absolutely cracking battle for the lead in the next lap also.
Oh, Schroer! He's gone! I noticed he's gone there. Oh, he's down to P14. What on earth happened to him there? Did he just go wide at Juncal perhaps?
It's weird. He's just dropping down the order, but he's not.
It might be a time glitch.
Yeah.
Time glitch. Don't worry.
He's back into 10th. Yeah, there we go. Back into 10th for you.
Yeah, battling with Tapper. No worries there. But, well, Parker lost another 4 tenths to Pushka there. It's going to happen in the next 2 laps, I reckon. We still haven't seen the option result. What's happened to Siggy? What happened to Siggy there? Look at this! Oh, Siggy was battling with Bracan and Siggy spun! So Siggy was going for the podium, and so Francic is through now. But as I say, we still haven't seen what's happening with these option runners now, because how long can they go? We're getting up to the point where they needed to pit.
Yeah, well, it was lap 19 in race 1 that pretty much the majority of the field, and definitely the front runners, all dived into the pit lane. So they wouldn't pit at that lap for no reason, so there must be a drop-off at around that point. So it will be interesting. It looks like the times are stabilising fairly well, especially in terms of Francic. He's still doing low 15, so it's alright for him. As Muscat is in a right gaggle of cars here. He's got around McNaughton, he's got Tapper in front of him, and Tapper himself has got Schroer right in front of him as well. Schubert's managing to pull out a little bit of a gap, and Virgil's really pulled a bit of a gap on Schubert as well. Sorry.
Oh, Beresford in!
He's in.
He's in, Beresford is in, and he comes out... Surely not in the points, I'm guessing. Loknovsky goes through and Niza goes through as well. So Beresford pits. He was not the top of our runners. That's Francic. But he is out of the points.
That's interesting because he's got so many prime compound runners ahead of him that surely he's not going to make up that much time on them because their tyres won't go off too much. He'll have the pace advantage, but I don't know, he might get a couple of points out of this, but it's going to be difficult for him, that's for sure.
Let's look up to the lead. It's going to be an interesting one here. Team manager versus team driver. It's Simcraft versus PB, but more importantly, it's a PB driver against his team boss. I wonder if Pushka's going to go lightly on Parker here as we head on to lap 19 of 24. Maybe not. He's looking for the lead, isn't he? No mercy.
Wow, it's surely a matter of time. Surely. He's not quite on the gearbox of Parker, but he's going to have the wings now. Let's look at him down the straight here into turn 4. Parker knows he has to go to defensive already. And Pushka's late on the brakes. Oh, he knows it's just a matter of time. Pushka doesn't need to push the issue too much here. He's going to look to the outside of Parker though, going up the hill. And yeah, just gives it plenty of room. Pushka's driving with a head right now. well, still a head on his body, and the brain is in there. That's
Yeah.
good.
Are you going somewhere with that? It's it's just not the stupidest thing said on the Super Cup broadcast this year. I'll give you that for sure. But yeah, I agree with you totally. It's only a matter of time, really, going through young Cal for the 19th time of asking. Oh, you just see how much better through that corner Pushka is. But it's really sector 1 that the German accelerates, both metaphorically and very much literally, as we head onto lap 20 of 24 here. The low wings of Pushka working to his advantage so well. Can he do it around the outside of center S? No. Once again, he slightly pulls out, maybe to get a better exit and a better entrance here into Circuit Solid. Oh, Parker, he has a little slippery moment. Pushka makes sure he avoids. And he's in... Oh, look at him. He's going all over the place. Looking to get the slipstream. Pushka looks to the outside now. Will he brake late again? He's going to try around the outside of Decida to whatever it is, to Prado, whatever. But he takes the lead either way. Pushka looking for the first ever double win from the same driver in the same race evening since the Super Cup round at Canada. 10 rounds to go, but he goes wide! And into turn 8 we go. Parker looking up the inside. He can't do it though. Pushka has secured the lead.
That was another textbook manoeuvre by...
Oh, and sorry, can we go back in now? Oh, look at this. We've got contact between Siggy and Francic. I knew this one was going to kick off because the two of them hate each other's guts. Francic on the option tyre. What, sorry?
Matt Muscat's got no front wing. Something's happened between him, McNaughton, Schroer, and Niemann. Oh, he's just hit the back of... Who is that? Is that... I don't know. It looks like he's hit the back of McNaughton into the corner. It's just spat them all out across the track. And, that's disaster for quite a few guys there. Muscat, McNaughton, and Schroer.
I'm looking at this Siggy and Burlak battle because Francis told him Burlak got the advantage, but Siggy's back in the slipstream. And look at this now. Look, it's Clont. He's been lapped. Never mind. Siggy on the inside of Francis. Oh, this is not going to end well. The two of them, as I say, they hate each other's guts. But I think, oh my word, I would half argue that Francis tried to spin Siggy there, but it looks like those option tyres have well and truly gone from Francic's car. Siggy back up into 4th. Burlak into 5th. Francis down to 6th. He's looking up the inside of Burlak, but there's nothing really he can do. Those options are dead.
Yep, they definitely are. And that was why everyone pitted on lap 19, because on lap 20, you run out of grip completely, it looks like. He's still there. Still there a little bit. But Burlak's surely got the pace now, and he's going to hunt down Siggy, who's right in front of him. And this could be a good recovery drive from, what was it, 21st? 21st to a potential 4th right here. That'd be an incredible drive by Burlak.
I think it's pretty easy to say, though, he's had a lot of luck along the way. It's not exactly been the cleanest of Super Cup races.
No, not by any means. That is for sure. And it's quite surprising around this track because you don't really tend to see that many retirements or anything like that. And it's not the hardest track to keep the car on the road. But yeah, I guess it's all the late braking manoeuvres that you tend to get contact between drivers. And yeah, there's a huge one into turn 4. I won't say their name because I think we've pretty much mullered that corner today, haven't we?
Decida del Lago. Not Depredo. I think Depredo means something in Italian. Something food related, otherwise I wouldn't have remembered it. But there we go. Turn 4. See, it's much easier this way. Also, looking down, unfortunately, Sven Schubert, it's a shame that the wheels have come off that wagon. He was in such a good position, and unfortunately he's fallen right down the order. That said, he's still in battle with McNaughton on the option tyres as well. Potential to get 11th, or at least points for positive. Now look at Niza up the inside here. Oh, it's still close battling all over the field. Great to see. Great to see Schubert doing well. Where's Schroer gone, though? I think he was part of that. Yeah, he was part of that collision with Muscat. He is out of this race with suspension damage. He becomes our 6th retirement of the day. A real shame for the Italian/German/whatever who was looking like a really good debutant. Looked like he could hold his own in this field.
Yeah, and I don't think it was really any fault of his own, to be honest with you. I think it was Muscat's fault, but I had a little bit of a lag, so I don't want to put the blame directly on him because I can't say for 100% for sure. But I tell you who did benefit from that little accident was Pavel Larknovsky, who's in 10th position. And considering he spun earlier in the race with after contact with Niemann, he's done a great job to recover back into the top 10. So a great drive by him.
He is Italian, by the way. But given that he's got an Uber O, I'm dead certain he's got German heritage in there somewhere. Either way, shame to see Christoph leave us. Hopefully we'll have him back next season. Seemed like a really good potential prospect for next season. Perhaps we might see him return with Multiforce, you never know. Either way, Siggy still holding off Petter Burlak in P4 and P5. It's the penultimate lap of the race, by the way. These all go by so quickly, don't they? David Francic holding on in P6. Roy Verzel, outstanding drive, up there in P7, bringing home the points for Fox in style. Tapper 8th. Neiman in 9th, Loknovsky back up into 10th after being outside of the points for a bit. Schubert 11th, Niza 12th, McNaughton 13th, Beresford 14th, and Christoph Lichtenstein, the 2010 Super Cup champion, looking to score yet another point for Fox Racing. I don't think they've had a double point score all season. I'll just go and check it since I've got the thing open. No, this would be their first double point score in the same race all season if Christoph is just able to hold on to that P15.
That'd be impressive. Wow, that'd be amazing for Fox, wouldn't it? It looks like, yeah, they've had a couple of decent finishes in 8th and 7th in Canada and Britain, but if one driver's done well, the other one's usually finishing about 20th or lower. So good effort by Fox. And for Pushka as well, this will be the first time we've seen a double race winner since Canada of this year, which I believe was...
It was a double Den de Vries.
Sven de Vries, yes.
Yeah, double de Vries special. But de Vries is old news. No offence, Sven, but this is the man of the moment. We welcome home, for the second time this evening, a race winner, a champion winner, a 9 times race winner. He's been the class of this season. It's Philip Pushka for PB Racing. He takes the final win of the season from an ever-impressive Tom Parker. Another great round for him, 2 podiums to his name. Maurice Bracan, he takes his first podium since Belgium. A wonderful double podium for PB Racing, a great way to end the season. Siggy comes home P4, he holds off Petter Burlak, a wonderful, stellar return drive from P21. Francic lasts the entire race distance on the option tyres, he comes home P6. Roy Verzel equals his best finish of the year with P7 and secures Fox Racing as not 15th but 14th in the team's title, meaning that Scuderia Vasilia, the guys who came in with a number 0 and 2 on their car, they finished dead last. Dari Tapper has a good last race of the season. A bit of luck goes his way for once. He finishes P8 with Ari Neiman in P9. Pavel Loknovsky finishes P10 with Santiago Niza P11 in the end. Sven Schubert scores points on his return to the Super Cup with P12 as I see a car flying off in the distance there. No idea who that was. Adrian McNaughton also lasts the full distance on options. He finishes P13. Scott Beresford, he put a pit stop in there and still came home P14. And Christoph Lichtenstein, our 2010 Super Cup champion, he makes it Fox Racing's first and indeed last double point scoring event of the season. And let's just have a look when he last scored a point full stop. I have a feeling it might very well have been... You'll love this. This is his first point score since the very first week... of the career ladder this year. He scored a 10th position in Australia and he finishes off with a point as well. So lovely for Christoph there, lovely for Fox Racing, lovely indeed for our team's champions as well. Adonis Engineering, in the end it just all went their way despite all the worries, and well, what a wonderful end to it. Unfortunately, yeah, I knew Siggy and Francic was going to kick off. Unfortunately, those two, as I say, hating each other's guts.
Oh, wow.
I was expecting that. Hopefully, nothing will come of it anyway. But yeah, what a crazy and wacky race to finish off the year, Sam. It really encapsulates this entire season as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, we had a little bit of, well, quiet time, I'd call it, in the second half of race 1, although there were still some great battles through the field. But then all erupted once again in that race too, and those first couple of laps were some of the best I've seen all year long. It was great to see drivers moving up and down the field and get some surprise positions after the second lap. Set us up for an absolutely fantastic race too, as the faster guys tried to battle away from the back. But once again, Pushka, it took him a little bit of time, but he eventually got up to first. It nearly took him the whole race, but, well, he's just been the fastest guy on the grid. Fastest guy for a very long time, and definitely a well-deserved champion. And, of course, got to say well done to Adonis. Great to see them win the championship, and hopefully they can do a fantastic job in Super League next year as well. Definitely looking forward to see how Super League evolves next year, and who will we have next year in Super Cup as well to challenge for the title.
It's exciting times, isn't it? Right, let's get to our interviews. I think for the sake of the sort of questions that we're going to be asking for the end here, I think it's best to start with Kevin Siggy here. So, race 2, you ended up battling with your old rival Frančić, unfortunately. It was still a good result, though, at the end of the day. A P4 for you, really good stuff. And then, of course, you got the podium in race 1 as well. So, overall, a decent end to the year, you would say, especially with Schubert scoring points in place of Lopez.
Yeah, I'm very happy with everything that I've done so far in this season. I have to admit, Frančić did a good job this race. I have to admit, he should have been doing the last few races, but in race 2, I have to point my finger to Maurice, because he turned into me into turn number 3, I think it is, number 4, sorry. He turned into me and I spun, unfortunately. I hope he gets a penalty, a decent penalty. Overall, in race 1, I had some great battles with Philip. Great job, Philip. Good job on your 2 wins and the championship. And Parker, you as well. You did some great fighting.
Kevin, yeah, we've seen. We know of a few teams that want to go up into Super League. I believe, if my sources are correct, that Positive is one of them. Has Super League been your aim since the start of the Super Cup season? Are you looking forward to a challenge in Super League? Equally, are you just as happy to stay in Super Cup next season?
Actually, my target wasn't the Super League. Me and Fran had a competition between us in Suzuka, and whoever gets the most points out of these 2 races gets to pick the series, and he won it. So I have to be in Super League then. I would have loved to stay in Super Cup because the gaps are very, very close. The points are very, very close. There are pretty much decent drivers there, and I don't know, it's just one of my best series, I should say.
Well, you never know. We might see you next year anyway. It's not guaranteed, of course, that any application will secure a Super League slot. So whether we see you in Super League or indeed in Super Cup next year, thank you for joining us, Kevin, and great job on your podium and result in race 2.
Thank you.
Right, and now it's been a pretty good day for these next 2 gentlemen. Joining us in the room is our 2014 UltraNet Supercup champion, Filip Puška, winning in absolute style with 2 race wins. And alongside him, his team manager for the season, Tom Parker, who got 2 podiums. And I think race 2 must have been a pretty proud moment for you, Tom, with 2 of your men on the podium and yourself there as well.
Yeah, from a driver's and team manager's point of view, it was pretty much perfect. Apart from Phil just beating me, but I don't care. I've got a champion, so I'm well happy.
And perhaps we can have an insight on the champion himself. We saw you a number of times near the end of the year not qualifying, and there's almost been a resilience to win the title. But, you know, whether you choose to or not, you've gained automatic promotion to the Super League next year. You've won the title in a dominant fashion now with those 2 race wins. I would hope that you're a little bit happy with what you've achieved here, because it's a pretty impressive feat that you've managed to create for yourself there.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy now after this event. I don't know what happened in race 1 with Peter. I have to look at it, but my first impression was not that I did something wrong, but obviously I can be wrong now, so I didn't see it. I have to see it again. But apart from that, really cool event. I had the pace to win both races, so I was happy and managed to get Tom in the end. But yeah, my tires were on the limit, but still enough to overtake him and stay in front.
I think I'll open this question up to both of you. A similar question to Kevin. Philip, we know that you've gained automatic promotion to Super League, but is there any particular team that you're looking at getting? And the same with Tom. Are you looking to move up to Super League next year? And are there any sort of negotiations in the work which you can share or at least hint at between you 2?
I'll let Phil go first.
There are some options. I have some ideas, but yeah, I will decide in the next days, I think.
Yeah, I have applied to go up, but whether or not we do is another question. I know there's a lot of teams who probably deserve it a little bit more, but yeah, I have offered Phil a contract. I'm not even gonna lie. Come on, he won the championship for me. God's sake, I want to keep him.
Oh, so you actually applied with PB Racing?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. And I was thinking, as a driver yourself, are you thinking of moving up as well?
Wait and see. We'll wait and see. I don't know. It depends on a lot of stuff that I can't say.
Ooh, I like a bit of suspense. I like a bit of teasing and all that. So, thank you very much for you two. Congratulations on both of your feats. It was a wonderful end of the season, and it was wonderful to see such great battling from the two of you throughout that event. So, thank you for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
And now we can talk to the other man who's celebrating a championship. Menoklomp, team principal of Adonis Engineering. You've gained automatic promotion to the 2015 Super League season. I think I'll replicate what you said to me earlier this year. It's great to have a Dutch side in there now.
Yes, that was one of the targets. I think we are the first Dutch team in Super League for like 8 to 10 years. So that makes me a bit proud, and really happy.
As for you as a driver, race 1 went well, race 2 not so well. But have you enjoyed the season overall? You've had a lot of highs. I mean, especially the win in Britain, surely standing out for you.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the how I achieved. My target in the beginning of the season was top 8 in the championship. I didn't look at wins or podiums. Yes, I wanted to score a podium, but in the end, the total standings, the top 8 in championship, that was more important, and I did that because I finished in P7, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
I'm happy for that. But personally, after my win in Britain, I had some difficult time to get the focus. I was so happy to get that win. And yeah, that was also a big part of me wanting a podium or a win. So yeah, it was difficult to get motivation again. But after some races, I did get motivation. But yeah, it was quite difficult if you achieve as a driver the best, and yeah, to get normal results then again.
And finally, just to cap things off, looking at it from Menoklomp, the driver point of view, what does 2015 bring? Are you looking at Super League? Are you looking at Supercup again? Is perhaps staying with Multiforce the option that you're most likely to take up?
I'm staying in Supercup, but I will leave Multiforce. So I drove my last race for Multiforce today. But I've got a contract for 2015 already. Yeah, you will hear from me soon, I think. But,
Oh, more teasing. I love this part of the season. It's great. Well,
Yes.
thank you very much for letting us in on that little tidbit, Menno, and it'll be a pleasure to see you next year.
Yeah, with some stars.
Absolutely. Cheers. Right, so that's it, ladies and gentlemen. After, I would say, the best series that I've ever commentated on, or best season, I should say, it comes to an end, and it's sad that this is the way it has to be, but I think, as you rightly say, Sam, it's never too far away that you'll find the Super Cup season will be starting up again, hopefully next February or March, with brand new drivers, brand new faces, and hopefully brand new excitement that will never disappoint us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a really interesting season next year once again. I can't wait to see where everyone goes and all the potential new teams that could be joining the series as well, which I'm sure we're going to find out over the winter break. And talking of the winter as well, I'm hoping we'll get some good series during the winter, because it'll be great to get back on track myself, get a bit more racing in, and maybe battle with some other guys, because GPVWC has done a great job this year in terms of both Formula Challenge, which I've participated in and I've really enjoyed, and Super Cup as well, which I've had the pleasure of commentating on for the second half this season. And I can honestly say that every single race has been really, really exciting to commentate on. and really exciting to watch. So I hope everyone has enjoyed it who's raced in it, and everyone who's watched it has also enjoyed it as well, because I think Supercup is a really good, well-managed series at the moment. It's got a nice format. The cars look fantastic. The racing is so close. So yeah, hoping to see a lot more from Supercup next season as well.
It was a pleasure to have you here with us, Sam, as well. I think picking up on the Winter Series point, it's important to note that this is not the end of the GPVWC calendar as it stands. Of course, tune in tomorrow, same place, same time, for the final Super League race of the year. We had our first English champion in David Feider. We got CSG as a Constructors champion. Still a lot of pride up for grabs, so make sure you tune in tomorrow when Simon Smith and Matthew Churkin will be taking you through the Brazilian Grand Prix. Also, before GPVWC Day comes to us at the end of November, we've got a few more surprises up our sleeve. We've got the annual Race of Champions to come. We've, of course, got the conclusion of the Masters Series with the 12 Hours of the Nordschleife and the famous race at Bathurst to finish it all off with, I believe, the V8 supercars as well. Wonderful, wonderful stuff still to come. And maybe there's some stuff in the pipe which hasn't been announced yet. We'll have to wait and see on that one. If you're at all interested in joining up to this wonderful community and getting involved in the racing, then head along to the forums at gpwc.com, get yourself signed up and find out what's happening. But from all of us here, it's time to sign off. I'd just like to thank every one of the drivers who's taken part in this season. It wouldn't have been as incredible without you lot. And I'd like to thank all the production guys, of course. Dave Carr-Smith, who's been spending so many hours now doing cameras and everything. Pleasure to have you here, Dave, as always. And thank you very much for trudging through all of us, all of the problems and internet and all that stuff to help us. I'd like to thank my commentator in the early part of the season, Lewis McGlade, for doing as good a job as he ever could. I'd like to thank Sam for stepping in at the end of the season, indeed. Certainly hope to see you next year. It's been a pleasure having you alongside me. I've been James Kirk, and here from the 2014 UltraNet Supercup season, it's a very warm goodbye.